Really, the Knights managed that little coastal position very, very well. Took out a couple of different teams on the way to a victory here. TSM had the option to move over and maybe take it to them with those 2 members left remaining, but ultimately Drayden holding it together with 10 individual kills. That's a great effort by him alone. So good first game, and maybe we'll see some more options with the circle next game.
There you go. Bit of a break. We'll be coming right back at you in the next. One, don't go anywhere or do, but we'll see you back in a few minutes. Peace.
So soon and yet it's still so unclear. Are we sticking to the guidelines? The crazy ground would disappear. But now that I realize so much was in my mind, so easy to let it take control over our heavy lives. It's such a funny thing, this weight upon our spines, breaking backs and breaking hearts, corrupting youthful minds. Just gotta hold on, hold strong, keep a level head. Take a step back, keep your focus on the good times instead. Here I come, oh I'm wild and free. I'm gonna shake it loose, I'm gonna shout and scream. No more silence, no more gray. I'm moving forward, moving up to embrace all this day. I'm open wide to every cloud. Take the blows, but I know they ain't gonna knock me down. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and there ain't gonna be no little me again. No little me again, yeah. I said there ain't gonna be no little me again. Here I come, oh I'm wild and free. I'm gonna shake it loose, I'm gonna shout and scream. No more silence, no more gray. I'm moving forward, moving up to embrace all this day. I'm open wide, whoa, to every cloud. Take the blows, but I know they ain't gonna knock me down. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and there ain't gonna be no little me again. Here I come, oh I'm wild and free. I'm gonna shake it loose, I'm gonna shout and scream. No more silence, oh and no more gray. I'm moving forward, moving up to embrace all this day. I'm open wide, oh to every cloud. Take the blows, but I know they ain't gonna knock me down. I'm a force to que la veo no normal. Tu mamá es casi fenomenal. Quiero que esto se haga realidad. Déjame salir con tu mamá. Solo es una cita anormal. Yo quiero vivir y fantasear. Sabes que lo quiere disfrutar. No creo que se vaya a negar. Sabes que lo quiere disfrutar. No creo que se vaya a negar. Sabes que lo quiere disfrutar.
Trapped under lock and chain. Everybody, everything looks the same. Reaching so far away. Weren't meant to ever stay. Walking on broken glass. Not a part of some privileged class. So close to calling quits. Let's make a break for it. Don't look back. Gotta keep on moving past these gray smokestacks. Never seen her eyes
myself inside her remedy. She ain't even checking me. Oh, yeah, physical pain. A little something, something. Oh, yeah. Honey, you should have shot me before. Oh, babe.
Okay, looks like we're back into it. Welcome back, ladies and gents, at the start, kind of the start of the second match. And it's still a great night for PUBG. We're still rooting for the top team, so let me see who the top team that you're rooting for is in the chat. Make up a heck of a lot of fuss in there. In the meantime, though, we have spotted ourselves a first circle here, Moses. It looks to be on the military island, and we saw the last from Rogue, ex-Air Station Mike, rotate early on. Looks like Method are going to be following them as well. And as a side note, I suppose, I know for a fact that Andy is quite the legend in this area here. You might not know this, but he actually killed Shroud a couple of times in Million Base.
Oh, well, I was not aware of that. However, looking at the way Method has positioned themselves, they do have a decent spot here. No immediate way out for Andy here, as he's going to get down by this nade. So it looks like Ewan was actually just traded. So he took down Andy, and AC came to his rescue. So a good trade there, but Andy is not going to be able to get rezzed here, as it looks like Fuffins has that spot on lockdown. Turtle now coming to support. Yank and Jazza are across the way and have not started moving in that area. So it looks like Fuffins is going to have to hold this all on his own just for now.
Yes, indeed. And it's a bit of a dire spot right now for the lads of Method. Soon discovered that there's enemies quite close to them. Turtle beaching his bike as well as Andy did before, but the downside to Andy is that he's knocked out, and there's nobody that's actually able to cross there, as Fuffins is holding on with his SKS. Nobody would dare from Method right now to peek on and save Andy, so more than likely Method are gonna have to play as 3 in this battle, and it's gonna be a battle, I see, because one of these two teams are gonna have to come out on top pretty soon, because they're so split up. But oh, check this one out. Leighton, the hero of the day, comes in and saves his fallen teammate. I don't think Fuffins has any kind of say in this scenario here. He will be sticking an 8x on top of his SKS, but that's not going to be helping him some, as Andy will get res indeed. And from the fact that they have rifles, and from the fact that I've spotted them having level 1 and level 2 armors and helmets and whatnot, I'm pretty sure they're going to have themselves some first aid kits as well. So Andy is not in the dire position that he was just minutes ago. Well, this is something of a silver lining, I suppose, for Method. But now they're going to have to make their way out of there, and that's not an easy task.
So it looks like Fuffins is going to eliminate the use of that vehicle. So Andy and Leighton are going to be stuck in that little bunker with getting caught out, holding that peak just a little bit too long. Was AC taking one in the teeth there. Now it looks like it gave Leighton a bit of an opportunity to jump up and see what's going on. Right now, Fuffins is doing a great job of zoning all of Method, taking a little bit of return fire now, as Andy putting some pressure back. They have to get out of here. I don't know if their loot's in 100% great shape, but very few meds on Andy at the very least, so he's going to rotate around here. I have not seen any response from Rogue. Rogue has not moved over to help with Fuffins' fight right now. They are still across the way. So I'm not sure what Rogue's game plan is right now, if Fuffins just acting as a distraction, or if this is something of a bigger plan here for Rogue.
Yes, indeed. It doesn't look like they're making any kind of a move at this moment in time. YNCK could potentially have some sort of an angle if he goes towards the factory area. But until he does, Leighton and Andy have somewhat of a shot against their opponents. And Leighton now peeking out. Oh, he has to be careful. He's got a level 1 Helmy. Will protect him slightly so. Oh! From an SKS shot to the dome, but Andy takes one himself. Actually, I think it was a body shot on that one there. But yeah, taking up a heck of a lot of damage now. Fuffin still has to fire, still has to make a lot of noise until his teammates, or if his teammates do come in to help him out, as this wouldn't be an easy choice for him to actually hold on to his spot. And you can see AT and Turtle already on the back flank. So by all means and purposes, I think Rogue might have just given up on Fuffins. There's no chance to res him here. to save him here, rather. Res will happen from Andy, though, because one of his teammates got down, indeed. And the nade goes in. Fofus is going to have to play the stair angle. Knows that his enemies are on the outside, so now he's going to have to play this one as careful as possible there. Probably switch to the 2x. No, actually switch to the M4. The M4 is not in the M, but it doesn't really matter. Fofus gets downed and killed. That's going to be the first one to fall from Rogue.
So that was a really good response here. You can see already YNCK backing off. YNCK was coming to rotate, but just wasn't coming quite fast enough. So that was actually really nice from Method there. As we see, looks like Vis has picked himself up a bit of a bush here, as well as that Mark 14 we were talking about the last game. That was well played by Method. They were in a bit of a spot there, having to try and break him out. Fuffins held that compound up pretty high effect and took a lot of time away from Method. But Method is going to be able to get out of this 4-up with Rogue now a little bit damaged here in the early game.
That will be the case indeed. And we see Tuho Yuho make his way onto a boat, putting in some shots on his enemies here. FCS Po is a team that has recently shown up, Moses, in the EU area. They've been performing quite good, quite exemplary. They've qualified. I think they were the first ones in their lobby to qualify in when we had the qualifiers in Auzom. They've also done well, I think, in GLL as well. These guys are showing up pretty good right now in Europe, whereas nobody would have heard of them, let's say, a month ago. You wouldn't have heard much about FCS Po.
Well, we're in a bit of a
I'm pretty happy to see a lot of teams come in. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're in a bit of a gold rush right now. All these tournaments now able to offer some prizes, and that's going to draw a lot of interest from people who, you know, have decided like, hey, I could take a run at this thing. We see Drayden here looting in the middle of this open road, no one really around. So out well outside the zone, a little bit of a transition still coming there as we see Krama coming in to pick him up. Stab actually coming through as well. Got to be a little bit careful. The Knight's popping out. Oh, got to be a little careful indeed. Stab taken down and out very quickly there. That's just a case of bad timing for Stab, Boogie.
Absolutely. There was nothing that, you know, he could have done in this situation here. Of course, he saw someone get down. He probably went, you know, thought, yo, that's an easy kill. I'm gonna get myself some free loot from that one too. But yeah, Lumbermill lose themselves a member. I'm not too sure where the rest of, actually, he got knocked out, so there has to be more members of Lumbermill. We'll have a look and see if we can discover them. I can't really see them on the map. We'll have a look later on and see what happened there. But yeah, anyway, TSM, I see their position and I like it. They have themselves a very decent spot, a top to work with here. In the meantime, Espo have taken out of their boats and fallen on the south flank of the South Island, very south here. But they're quite close to Krip. I think Krip might know where they are. Mini Fridge as well. I don't know if Didgery has any chances here.
I don't think they're aware. Now they're going to be aware. They can hear the shots popping off. Immediately you see Krip turning around to maybe return fire. FCE has come up on these rocks. They do have decent cover on both sides. Krip can maneuver here around to get a little bit closer. So I'm not sure if this was just a case of circumstance here. It looked like Noxious had come up this way and have maybe taken the same path just a little bit ahead of FCE, but now they're engaged here in a medium distance fight on the edge of the zone. So they have some time to work this out, but we'll see how FCE kind of maneuvers here.
Looks like they're going to be moving towards the compound here. Krip and Midi want to same thing, so it will move from a open area fight to a compound fight, so closer to an urban warfare type of deal, where actually Noxious are pretty good, but it doesn't look like Noxious are going to be heading towards the same compound either. Actually, they're rather much set themselves away from that current position right now. As you can see, Mini Fridge and Krip holding on to the same spot there. They're going to be covered in by Mr. and Crispy. Actually, no, they're not. Mr. and Crispy are busy taking themselves a little piece of the puzzle. And yeah, that's an unfortunate time. I don't know if Krip and Mini can actually get out of this one here. I do believe that Espo should have some sort of a lining, some sort of a line. It doesn't look like they have anyway at this moment in time. But if we look somewhere else on the map, we can see that two teams are trying to make it from the same spot, more specifically northwest area of the current white. And we'll see Zerkt and Nam and Vexed that might potentially have at it pretty soon.
Yeah, we see Zokti Nam here has wide open view on Vex. No shots coming out just yet. I'm not sure if they're waiting for them to stop or or what's happening here. But Vex moving through the open, clearly in line of sight, maybe just a little bit too far for Dingle Rapes to start shooting. Tracing, waiting, nothing happening just yet. Vex maybe unaware of his presence. Something's got to happen here. Take the shot, Broder. He's right there, man. Not going to happen. I guess maybe
you're... Sorry, go ahead.
There we go. I was just going to say they're outside the zone. Maybe they don't want to start this thing. They're maybe trying to count the players as they ran past. But they've waited now to a point where the circle's going to start moving. They do land almost a down there. More pressure coming. But they're going to be at the zone at their back here. And they're going to land maybe one kill out of this with the rest of Vex getting away. Now able to return fire closer into the zone.
And there comes the return fire indeed. Brenash will be not taking any damage. So it looks like Zuktanam will be safely moving into the safety of the white using a different ridge. Vex in the meantime have lost one member. This is a fight that we'll have to pick up later on, because there's no way that these two teams can avoid each other unless Vex, or sorry, Zuktanam would rather go for a very south-sided push. But because the circle is strangling, they're more likely to actually go west straight up. Now, Penta trying to make their way in from the water, it seems, and towards Novo, which is arguably, some say it would be the easier side of pushing out in the military island. I don't necessarily agree with that, because you can have a lot of teams inside of Novo, which isn't the case right now. As you can see, there's just one team at this moment in time trying to gatekeep them, but I don't even think they're actively trying to gatekeep them. Exalt Gaming are just happy to be inside the circle, it seems like.
Yeah, we see here Vis putting some pressure onto Purge here. They're trying to get this res off. So Vis using that Mark 14 to full effect right now, as it looks like Noxious is now receiving pressure from the rest of TSM up on this ridge here. So they're trying to get in here. I don't fault Zokti Nam just for the record's sake for not taking those shots earlier, as it looks like they were going to pull away and do the guerrilla warfare tactic, as just kind of hitting and moving. But I think they could have landed 2 kills there, as we see Noxious avoiding the withering fire of TSM.
Yes, indeed. Again, have a look at Zuktan Nam this time around. Vex is going to be gatekeeping them. Well, kind of would have been the case before, but Vex weren't allowed to come in there. One of the members from Vex, Larry, has been knocked out as well, so Zuktan Nam going to be fast on their heels with this push here. Smoke deployed. Reese is going to be going for the rest, so Zuktan Nam have an idea that there's just one guy pushing, or sorry, one guy holding the angle right now. So that's why they're peeking into their side, trying to find themselves a handy frag. Doesn't look like it's going to be happening, so they would much rather find themselves an easier opportunity to come close to their enemies at this point in time, which they do indeed. And this is the ideal place to push in from, on that very combat that Vexed are right now. Where Zuktan Nam are coming, they have much higher chances, as you can use the tree line to their advantage. Otherwise, if they would have pushed from that western position as they were before, they would have gotten themselves in a very bad spot, it feels like. But now that Bruder is pushing in, Vexed might be in a bit of a pressure. Looks like they've already left. They've already left the yellow house that they were in with that res, and they're going to try to find themselves a nicer place to fight from. Wow, that's a very defensive move.
Yeah, I was hoping to see that they would maybe try and zone them there, but that, to be fair, that area is very complex. A lot of ridges, lots of trees they can get behind. So they did have an opportunity to try and zone them a few minutes back. It just didn't work out that way, as we see here back from Zarki being observed. I think Noxious might have spotted them out. They're wide in the open here. Lots of players. Crispier waiting. Maybe he's just calling, team, come help me. There's a whole team coming this way. Let's murder him. I don't think he has the support right now. No shots coming out here. Another interesting, maybe there's waiting to try and get a bit of a different position here. Crispier moving up, getting closer. Oh, they're below him on the ridge now, so nothing he can do just yet. But Crispier's put himself in line of sight of other teams as well here, Boogie.
Yeah, indeed. He's a bit in the open. Not a lot of teams are actually going to be able to see him still, though. It's a very courageous move by Crispy. Crip's going to be helping him out there as well. They know that they might have to clear this enemy squad at this point, because they might be indeed gatekeeping them. But they decide to go with the safe option here, as their enemies are going to be taking fire from somewhere else, it seems. And it looks like Crip and Crispier will be leaving that spot. Noxious prefer to play together rather than getting themselves dinked down. Of course, there's very, very good individual talent in the current lineup of Noxious. They have very powerful hunters, very powerful riflers, and well, Mr. Crispy, pretty much everybody in that lineup is very, very good. So you can see that is the reason why they're kind of, one of them is pushing while the other one's kind of wait for for the others. Anyway, let's have a look at Espo because they're in a bit of a doozy. Looks like they're going to get pushed by a different squad, and this is an unfortunate moment because right now Espo are caught between a rock and a hard place, it seems here. Blade Zito coming in here, LFO, the rest of it all following suit. Let's see if Espo has any chance at this. They don't. Az gets knocked out and taken down. The rest of Espo are going to be trying to put some shots in return, but it's not necessarily an easy task to do. Three squads now on Espo.
Espo, rock and a hard place and another hard place, as even Crispy are getting in the action there up the hill. FCE just kind of ran into this triangle of death as all of these players just came out of nowhere and just completely wiped them. Juho left up, but now Crip and company, Noxious getting into it with Wookie Bookie going down. Now it looks like Lumber Mill is going to have the fire turned on them as FCE is just dancing around looking for some level of cover. This is going to be full-on survival mode now for Juho.
Absolutely. And we'll see how it pans out. It seems like Lumber Mill have lost themselves a member earlier on. If you remember, Stab got taken out of his vehicle when he met the Knight. So that makes things that much harder, of course, for the rest of Lumber Mill. In the meantime, Simsy, the last, or not the last one, but the only one from Penta pushing in from the south side of the circle. His teammates, we saw them earlier on into Novo. Let's see if Simsy has any chance to enter because he's going to have to go in through a heck of a lot of squads. He stops by, takes himself an energy drink. He knows that this is going to be a long draw entrance to the circle. And it looks like, have a look at this. This is an interesting rotation coming in from Lumber Mill. It looks like they have themselves some sort of piece of the pie. They managed to barely avoid the lads from Noxious Gaming, but Simsy's still in there behind, and Simsy could come through here. It looks like his teammates are coming in to help him as well, so he might get aggressive. Let's see if
he's gonna try. He's gonna pick up a kill here. Wookie Bookie going down. Lumber Mill still being flanked perpetually as they try and get in the zone here. Now getting into it with. Oh, there goes Trifly, just saying like, hey, it's enough out of you. So Simsy going down, knocked out here. We see Noxious kind of trying to hold that zone right now. Gustav being downed. Juho still holding on to hope that he can live into the end game here. Teams now getting engaged along this right side of the circle. A lot of density of teams around here, Boogie.
Absolutely, man. I'm not too sure if Trifly can make it out of here with, I don't know, by in the next circle, staying alive. That's just kind of a magician kind of legendary move. Like, honestly, I don't see it how at this point in time, themselves getting pushed in by 3 teams and have themselves blocked in the safety of the white by Noxious Gaming is anywhere to their advantage at this moment in time. It looks like Noxious Gaming aren't making a move just yet, but in the meantime, Tuchel made a bit of push there. I think it was AIM that actually took a shot on him. And now that he spots his enemies closer to him, he's going to be taking shots indeed. Tomiel eats a few bullets. Tuchel now on the top side, trying to push in here, and he's going to be doing quite good damage against Tomiel. But Lux is pushing in from a different perspective, and this is the time when Tuchel should run potentially because he doesn't necessarily have any kind of chance to survive this battle.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. I was going to say, I looked like Tuojo was going to pull that one out. Lux going to like 2 HP right there. That jumping no scope spray almost cost him there as he goes now for the res. So that was a bit of a clutch moment there from Lux. That was excellently played. Well, it was luckily played, but excellent result regardless as we see FCE eliminated here. Meanwhile, we see Noxious Gaming rotating still at full strength, carefully just below them. I don't think they're aware of his presence, so they're just opting to get into the zone, pushing that gap, the thing you see common in teams. Circle will move slower in the direction they are running because it's closer to the new play zone. Tamil and Lux ahead of them now. So lurking is Noxious Gaming right now.
Yeah, with Noxious Gaming, we're going to be meeting the aim of TSM, and MPR is actually the one that's going to be spotting them. In the meantime, back from Sharky left that fight altogether, and they're going to be heading on to a different direction, just trying to make themselves safe into the white, and they will be finding some sort of safety, but not in this one here. Blade Zito takes the shots, connects with one, and then the second one as well. Tomio falls, and that's pretty much done for back from Sharky. Just Blade Zito now remains in this place there, and I don't think he's got to find themselves a bit of fight on their hands.
We see Survivor here coming in. His teammates Kram and Voxic just above. We have here Purge Gaming, relatively quiet so far. Had a tough game last game. Wick, I Am Phil, and Sane all just kind of chilling right now, trying to get some vision, but not a lot of vision available outside of that one little house they're in. Method also under pressure here. We go back to Noxious, engaging with Dynamic. LFO now doing a good job here in the late game. They are split, but they are taking those kills. Crip going down. No support in the immediate area. Dynamic maybe opting not to loot as he's receiving fire from elsewhere. Can't see where that's coming from. We see here TSM in a decent spot now. Going to have to use that fence as they have to transition here. Knight's getting a little bit ahead of them. Trying to get that high ground looking back towards the rest of TSM. Dynamic all by himself. Mini Fridge Jr. trying to support, but nothing there right now. So LFO still in this. And we see Udir taking shots down on, now onto Purge Gaming having to come out of those houses. So Udir doing some damage, not able to get any downs just yet. You see Longo off screen knocking down Andy and finishing him. So now this transition is starting to heat up. Knights still full strength, but are receiving fire from TSM. Vexed still zoning out Zoked and Nam, who have yet to make it into the zone ahead of Vex. So Vex and Zoked and Nam still locked horns here, Boogie.
Yeah, and I don't think this time around Vex are going to be going for the passive angle. I think they're rather going to go for the fight, and that they do indeed. He's going to be starting off here. Let's see if it pans out nicely. Zoked and Nam trying to put some shots into them, but oh, check this one out. Vex come out on top. Brash has taken a heck of a lot of damage here. Larry's going to be going for the smoke, but that will actually only allow his enemies to make it kind of closer to where he should be. That smoke indeed deploys. Larry goes in for the second one closer to him as well. We're about to see here whether or not Zoked and Nam would rather choose to go in from the north side of the current white. Nope, they're heading straight into that smoke, and that might be a bit of a bait. Vex might throw a nade just to follow suit, and that would put Bruder in a very, very hard position. Now peeking in to the side of a tree line, trying to see if he can spot himself anybody there. Raz is on the other side. And, well, he's got an 8x to work with here and an AK.
Oh,
very dominating, but that nade comes in. Indeed, Bruder does the dirty deed. And that's one member of Vex eliminated. Two guys left alive in this situation. It looks like Zoked and Nam have the upper hand.
Yeah, this is something that, you know, Vex having that first engagement here, now being surrounded as Dingle Raves getting on top of I'm Larry here. Looks like he's going to be the last man standing so far. No support. Oh, he's got one left. But it looks like Reese is just a little bit farther off screen trying to support now. Three of his teammates down. Dingle Raves receiving some fire. But look who's coming to party. We have Exalt Gaming coming almost out of nowhere. Now flanking onto Zoked and Nam. So Breaksco and company leading the charge here, Boogie.
Yeah, it looks like Breaksco knows his weapon, comes into the fight there. Cronex takes a lot of damage, though. Wow. Reese, very, very good shots at him. It looks like Zoked and Nam are going to be joining powers with the former Vex squad. Out of which there are none at this moment. Not just Reese trying to put in some shots, but they will try and help each other out, so to speak, just to make sure that they make it alive into the next fight, which is about to close into the next blue, and we will see where teams will have to rotate in just a second here. And this is going to be interesting because if the Knights have to rotate towards TSM, that's a very hard rotate. Going onto that open road is a very difficult area, and they don't. Okay, there you go. It's the other way around. TSM have to cross the road towards the Knights, and I think TSM are in a bit of a doozy here.
Yeah, they're going to have to take these shots. Like the one thing that's going to have to happen here is they're not going to be able to use any utility to cross because the smoke grenades are not going to be useful as they're both on high ground looking at each other. So right now, Vis and company have to take these shots, taking some blasting here at Reese. Poor Reese been shot by every team on the map so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Knights have the I think Knights have the advantage here against TSM. TSM has done an excellent job so far of using the zone to their advantage as well as that firepower. Now you see Drayton here getting right up on top of him. Here come the nades. Absolutely great call. So Knights showing some aggression here. And nade, I don't think he's going to be able to land it.
No.
Doesn't have the throwing arm to get all the way up across that fence, but that zone is going to start moving. So Vis and company need to get together and start pressing here and start landing some shots as Knights are banged up. So they might be able to get a seam here if they can get it down here early.
Yes, indeed. Viz game speaking out with his Zeta's mark 14, and it does tap it indeed. Gonna be him getting one on Survivor. And that's a good start right now for TSM to move in, but Smack gets knocked out himself. So this make things that much harder. Smack won't get rezzed as Vis Games gets himself to one sliver of life left. And this is definitely not an easy task for TSM right now, as they only have two guys left alive, and those two guys are nowhere near to try and save Vis.
Woo! That's another help here. Oh, so we've moved on to a different fight. I thought that was Vis jumping up to kill somebody. That was Jazza here now engaged with Blade Cedo.
Ooh, and there you go.
Well,
Jazza's gonna
somewhat
be
engaged.
Somewhat, yeah. You know, there's some engagements are like that, I suppose. What?
Mini Fridge, he's right there, bro. He's right there, Mini Fridge.
Mini Freeze just wants to make sure that he gets safe into it, and now he will, that he found himself the frag. But will he, though? Looks like AIM is going to be putting in the shots against him. Jesus, man. AIM is an absolute beast with the AK, but not for long because Krama is going to be taking him down. So, yeah, the Knights have indeed a slight upper hand in this situation here. Break, the last one staying alive for TSM at this moment in time. Won't get a chance to get a res into his fallen teammate because he was completely down. The Knights still have the upper hand. If Draydon would peek out, he would find Break indeed. And that he does. Putting the shots in. Break only takes one bullet though. So that will make things slightly easier, but Knights know his location. So now it's pretty much Zucht and Nam, Leighton from Method, and Break from TSM versus the Knights, which are soon to be a full squad again.
Nade came out there. Might have been a smoke grenade there, yeah. So, you know what? All kudos to TSM. They did get a really tough circle there. I think that they played it quite well. Break's still up, so not out of this game. However, having to go to the defensive Leighton very close to him. But right now, Knights are in control. A little bit injured as Zucht and Nam also with 3 up. So we'll see here if Knights can maintain that 4-up advantage. But right now, it's up to anybody. And Grandma landing a nice shot there. So Knights not willing to go lightly here.
They're taking shots. Knights will receive them, but they won't be too happy on it, so they will return some fire. Bruder now tagged in heavily with his teammate Dingle to a sliver of life left. Not an easy task for Zucht and Nam to push into a circle that is definitely going to be quite an open area. And when I say open area, there are some trees, but as they make it through, there's not enough cover for Zucht and Nam to use to try and get closer to the Knights. They could try a northern flank, but they're already being spotted. There's already a crossfire set up by the Knights, as you can see they're pretty well spread out. That will enable them to take shots against people covering around trees. 2 guys now knocked out. Brennash is going to be taken down as well. That means that Bruder, I think Bruder, yeah, Bruder is all that remains. So it's pretty much a 1v1v4.
Look how Knights have positioned themselves. Look how Knights have positioned. Like the CC, they have that one outlier up by the top of the zone. They're making sure that the solos don't get too crazy. You can see here they have angles down onto them, and they're going to finish off the rest of Zucht and Nam. So now Knights are fully in control. Now it's just a matter of who's going to get second place as Leighton and Break are right next to each other with the zone about to start closing. Break will have the slower circle on his side. So it's going to be up to Leighton. I'm thinking that Break has the best chance of surviving here if he can just start crawling that way, and he is going to. So Leighton have to stand up here fairly quickly and get into this thing.
Break. Not an easy task for him. Leighton kind of knows that there might be an enemy close to him.
They're reaving right now.
Yeah, the mind games. Leighton gets some shots from the Knights. I don't know if they spotted him or if they were blind firing. But yeah, the 2 guys that are a bit lonely won't be alone too long because the Knights will come in to help them out.
No,
Man, Knights are absolutely on fire tonight. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been handling their endgame positioning very well. And Break has been spotted out, so they're going to start converging on him. So Leighton might get the advantage here of just not having any attention on him currently. They do know that there's 2 solos left remaining. So Leighton and Break engaged in this race to second place right now. Leighton still crawling. And they're getting closer to each other. I think he's been spotted. Yes, he has. Leighton going down. So TSM will secure a second place finish unless Break can go absolutely ham here in the end game. He's got the pressure coming. Break, can you do it?
Well, no. I don't think there's a lot to ask for. That's going to be it. That's going to be it indeed. Krama closes things down with a GG and the chicken again for the Knights, who are coming up huge tonight. If they had 21 kills for the previous game, they're going to be finding themselves, let's count them up here, 10, 15? Is it 15 kills that I'm looking at? Yeah. That is not a bad performance. We're talking about, guys, this is the APL. This is the top of the top, cream of the crop teams in the world. And you have to understand, it's not easy getting a frag against these freaking Terminators. So the fact that Knights are really showing up tonight is furthermore testament to their power. So there you go. Really looking strong here.
Yeah, and considering how Method started this game, getting that 3rd place, not super active on the frag area, but as far as just, using that initial push that they got from Air Station Mike, or sorry, Rogue, formerly Air Station Mike, and coming in 3rd place, that just speaks to their survivability and, not to take away from TSM, handling their positioning well again. So TSM landing a fairly hard-earned 2nd place considering all the disadvantages they faced from a circle perspective this game. Kudos to them as well, with Zucht and Nam just harassing teams on the way to a 4th place, and Rogue coming in with that 5th place finish as well. So excellent 2nd game.
Absolutely. And that will see us it for the 2nd one. We're going to be coming back for the 3rd match indeed. Don't you guys go anywhere. We'll see you guys in just a few. Nice.
Coming from a place where we belong, where everyone can tell what's right from wrong. Coming from a place where we belong. Never let the fear get away with what I have here. It was clear to me, all good things are not for free. Coming from a place where we belong, where everyone can tell what's right from wrong.
Эй, это ваша начальница?
Да, это наш шоколадный босс.
Обожаю молочный шоколад.
Я опаздываю к парикмахеру.
Парикмахеру? А кто заплатит за такси?
Без паники. Мы обязательно договоримся.
О.
I think there must be something wrong with me, Linus. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy.
Relax and take notes while I take toast of the marijuana smoke. Throw you in a choke, gun smoke. Biggie smokes for mayor, the rat slayer, the hooker layer. Motherfucker, say your prayers. Hail Mary, full of grace. Smack the bitch in the face, take her Gucci back.
And welcome straight back into it. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, kids of all ages, we are indeed going to be starting off the third match of the evening for the APL, Auzom Premier League. That's what it stands for. You know why Premier, Moses? Because it's the freaking best teams in the world. Pretty much that's why.
Absolutely. We've seen some excellent performances so far from Knights, who have been dominating in both fragging and the top placements, winning 2 games in a row so far. So we'll see if the domination can continue here, as we're going to see a fairly neutral playing path coming from the bottom right side of the map all the way through the middle here, through Pachinki, the home of Method. The Rogue jumping out again to the military base. Knights maybe opting for that Milta area. You know, in the absence of Vitality and Phase, that Milta area is quickly been swallowed up by teams looking for a new home, as it allows them a little bit more flexibility through the early game. But what can you say about Knights so far, Boogie? Incredible performance.
Amazing indeed. And it's one that they're going to be hoping to achieve for the third and fourth. But then again, even if they don't, they've pretty much set themselves for the winners of the night. But as you guys sitting at home are indeed aware of this, this is a long-drawn tournament. So it's not just on the night. As many points as you can get, those are going to be accumulating, and the ones, you know, they're going to be accumulating to the final. They're going to be giving you some sort of a boost into the very finals of the APL. So the Knights, they're not going to be stopping here. It's not going to be, you know, as you would see at a best of 8 or any of that kind of sort of thing, where you'd normally see teams start to go aggressive on the last few legs, trying to get more kills and all that kind of stuff. No, this time around it's a long drawn game, and it's one of tactics, it's one of patience, it's one of not dropping close to your enemies. Oh, never mind. Since you know, try now close to Mini, it looks like this is a bit of a battle here on who will take this compound for the future of the APL. And this time around, Ultra has brought some friends. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure why or what the motivation is here. We've seen Mini Fridge here by himself again. I'm not sure if he's just intentionally here to harass Penta, but we've seen this again. This will be the, I think we saw this in the first game. Yeah, so it's like
can we get a hot pocket into the chat for Moses? Harassment.
Yeah, yeah, hot pocket. It looks like Mini Fridge is going to say, you know what, I'm sensing Doom here, as Simsy of Doom and Ultra moving across to where they might have spotted him, and he's going to run away with this fancy leather coat.
There you go. That's a good pun. I got you. I see what you did there. And I approve. Ultra and Simsy going to be holding on to a spot though. Ooh, what about the 4x? Simsy nearly taking Mini down, and now they're going to be on. I don't know if Mini has any chance to heal up, or if he has any heals for that matter, but he's not going to be alive for too long, that's for sure, because Ultra already on the side flank here. Mini doesn't have a gun to work with here, doesn't have any kind of armor. All he has are a few bandages, and that's about it. And, well, there you go. Ultra should be able to spot him any second now. Ultra going in for the wide flank. Mini sees him indeed. He's going to be going for cover from that angle there, but as soon as he does, Simsy gets him from the other side. And as you called it, it was indeed a Simsy of Doom that got to him in the end. That's it for the Noxious team. They're going to have to play as threes again. And it's not an easy task at all, especially when the circle isn't necessarily your friend. Let's have a look at the circle and see, where did it go to? Because I'm quite curious. It is their friend. Okay, all right. So they're
significantly less water this time around, which is nice.
Well, you still have the river, which might seem like less water, but it's played even more so than the side. This is an interesting point to make here, Moses, because even if there isn't, you know, spatially there isn't that much water land, teams are still going to put even more of their own players inside of that one, because you don't know whether it's going to be on the north side or on the south side. And generally, when it's a circle like this, then you're going to have plenty of river covered all the way to, I don't know, circle 5 maybe.
You know, kind of cutting through the middle of the map there, not really playing a factor currently, but as the circle closes and that transition between north and south of the circle with that river in mind, teams have almost no option but to at least take a dip on the way across, if not use it to survive. We see the first crate coming in now. Ooh, that's a nice crate, actually. AW, no scope in there, but level 3 vest, AWM, and a ghillie suit, and the flavor of painkillers as well. As looks like Mikas is going to get it.
That's going to be a flavor of Mountain Dew, because this is a no scope crate. Get it?
I do get it, and I disapprove. But Mikas landing that crate. Where's your Doritos, bro? You got to get some. I think Blade Cedo Dorito, right? Something like that. I think he's somewhere else in the map right now.
Probably, yeah. Probably won't partake in this particular meme. Well, yeah, there you go. Still, nobody going to North George. Still, we see only one team going to South George, and still we see another one actually kind of on the hospital area there, but not a lot of action in the Georgia Pole area as we've been used to before. This time around, I like what Penta are trying to do here. They're trying to prep up. They're specifically trying to prep up for future tournaments, because not a lot of teams actually go in Rashaka where they're going to be going. So that's a good thing. Besides, it's a good thing for them to actually try out new places to go, because they're not heading to the next major line. I don't think they are in the IEM, are they? Don't think they are.
So Penta was not invited. I cannot recall.
It was not invited, but didn't make it to the qualies.
I don't think they did, but
no, they didn't. They were playing with two. Here's the thing: they were playing with 2 stand-ins, so that's true too. More difficult. You know what I mean? Avenger was a bit far away. He was living the life. He was living. I think where was it, in Thailand or something of the sort? That's.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Well,
spicy stuff.
Lots of distractions in Thailand, from my understanding. So I can imagine why he probably wasn't too interested in playing some PUBG over there.
He was there with his. I don't think those distractions apply. Anyway, Bruder now will be.
The food is really good, dude. Get your mind out of the gutter.
That's what I'm saying, man. He was with his missus. His missus was cooking food all the time.
Oh, I get it. I got it. Oh, is she located in Thailand? Is that where they
saved? No, I don't think she is. It was just the thing that they were planning for long. Anyway, I don't think viewers are so interested in.
Is there any other vacation plans we can maybe discuss? I don't know. I'm really interested to know.
From what I understand, getting back into the game, First Circle is indeed going to be strangling quite soon, and we will see teams trying to make their way. And we were talking earlier about how well it is to sometimes have some of your members being said in, wow, that's a nice parking job, King. That was actually quite sexy.
Yeah,
how important it is to have some territory in the water, to have yourself a bit of piece of the river, because you're not going to know whether or not it's going to be on the south or north side, and there's just a few choke points where you can be blocked off. That pan, though, that pan leaves Crispy alive, but it looks like Saiyan and Kane are already on the hunt. I don't know if Crispy's going to be alive for too long. He's a heck of an aimer. Very talented kid indeed, a British lad who really knows how to fire off. But when you're in a 1v3, 1v4 to be soon situation, what can you do but go inside and take a dip?
Yeah, Crispy, we've seen, like, this is the second time we've seen someone from Noxious caught up by themselves saying taking one to the face there and going down. Crispier not coming out unscathed either, as Wick, I am Phil, Kaint also coming out to try and support their down teammate. So Crispier putting some pressure here, but these peaks are without any support, no ability to trade. You see Mr. TV now coming up for the flank, and here come Crip as well. And it looks like they come all the way out of their cover looking for this kill. And there it is, Mr. TV taking down Phil from long distance. So now all of a sudden they're on the ropes here. This is going to be a tough spot now. Purge Gaming in rough shape here, Boogie.
Yeah, Purge Gaming were the dominant ones for a minute, but it looks like Crispy had his teammates come from behind. That's the power of playing with your squad. You know what I mean? That's a really powerful call that Crispy made. They were like, okay, they all have the attention on me. You can come in now. You can save me. You can help me out. And there you go. That's going to be putting Noxious at the best position right now to take on this fight and win it. Wick is going to be taking some shots from Crispy as well. I told you guys, this guy's a heck of an aimer. Look at that. He's got a 2x on top of his M4 and he makes it work, and that's quite beautiful. And now he has the information that both of his enemies are in the small red on the north side of this compound. So now he goes for the side rotate. We'll be meeting up with his friends, and that's a good thing to do because Crispy does not have any helmet, so he's very, very vulnerable at this moment in time. It's actually good that he does that. But Kaint spotted Mista in the meantime, and he's taking him down, and now Kaint is going to be trying to make the same thing against Crip, and it will be working out. But the fact that Crispy has moved in, that might give him the saving grace. Let's see if it works out. It doesn't look like Kaint has any teammates of his own. Let's see in him versus Crispy, who's going to be coming out on top. Kaint will be leaving this angle, will be leaving this area. I don't think that he will be going back. Oh, he does go back into the fight. Crispy spots him, takes some shots. None of them connect though, so this is a chance to res Mista, but will it be so?
Yeah, it looks like Kaint was just trying to put enough pressure on them to force them to res. Maybe trying to pick up a kill here, peeks out a little bit too wide and takes it. He had the opportunity to res and decided that he was going to try and go for it. He did not leave anything on the table, however, as it looks like Mr. TV was the last one remaining and was then flanked. Oh no, he's still there. He's got a little bit further away. That was Crispier was the last man standing, but is caught up by Real ZX. So that was well played and a good trade there, but unfortunately they're back in the lobby as Penta comes out of nowhere and cleans up here. So lots of loot available now for Penta and no one nearby.
Yeah, there you go. Penta having the quiet town of Rorschach to themselves. Heard the ruckus made by the youths of Noxious and Purge, and they decided to have a look themselves and see what's going down. And they're like, here, get out of my server, kids. I'm trying to fall asleep. But yeah, there you go. They come out on top. This is the thing that you often see in professional matchmaking, professional competitions. When teams hear of each other's position, they will let the battle be close to an end, and then when they read on the score feed that there's more of them downed, that's when they make their move.
Well, that's an important thing to keep in mind in all aspects of the game, pro or not pro. Being mindful of the kill feed, like it's an information game. You always have to be collecting information. The kill feed gives you info. Obviously your eyeballs, and then audio is probably the second most important. But you know, as far as the
and your other balls give you a good advantage as well, if you do take the courage.
So sometimes you need it. So you do need it, man, especially when you're like looking at Knights, as we see Voxic rotating here on the motorcycle. Courage plays a big part of this, where, you know, pushing over that ridge into a team, you don't know how they're positioned, but you got to take that fight to try and secure your next spot in the zone. That's something that you see from the top teams. FaZe, Vitality do it all the time. They will take team fights and risks to secure a position, and when they pair that with the high skill, you know, that's when you get to the top of the leaderboard more often than not.
And here's a bit of breather as well for Lumber Mill. Just to point this one out, they got it themselves that 2+2 compound just south of Severny. It's a very powerful one. M24 with a level 3 helmet. That's a juicy drop right there. And I'm not too sure who's close to it. Oh, Espo is going to be close to that one. They might be going for it indeed. I don't think there's anybody else trying to contest that one by fallen plane. So they should be having themselves a very powerful sniper. But yeah, talking about Lumber Mill, you can see they have the 2+2 right now on the map. And it looks like Knights are going to be going past that one. They do know that there's members into that one. So Survivor might be well off going towards the south line here. And finally, an easier game for the Lumber Mill guys, because they normally loot Severny. And when it comes to rotations towards the melee circle, I know they're not always, you know, you're never going to be favored when you come for the furthest point and try and establish yourself on the circle. But this time around, the circle is indeed going to be containing a close spot. They're loading grounds. And now they've taken a heck of a lot of shots against the Knights, which will be taking only 2 vehicles out of here, and those ones are both going to be trikes. That UAZ is not going to be used further down the road because it's already been dinked down. It's already smoking, as you can see on the map right now. In this situation, smoking kills. So there you go.
Well, absolutely. And you can actually see in this case for Lumber Mill, they're going to have to move to the Knights eventually. So they have that nice little compound to the north of the Knights, but the Knights do have the zone on them. So well chosen there. Might have been well served for them to maybe move a little bit earlier as they are rotating now. See here, Lux and company moving around the Razak area. So the Knights and actually everybody is going to start moving at the same time with that new zone pop. So opting to get away from the edge here, Boogie.
Let's see how they decide to rotate in. Looks is going to be coming in here. That UAZ is going to be full blast, full speed, but it's also going to be blasted by his enemies here. Oh, Simsy. Takes some spicy shots, and he connects them as well. Zenta has a chance to come inside the safety of the Harry Potter, but now it's going to be trying to reply. Doesn't really work out. Simsy's got the second knockout as well, and that's going to be about it. I think it's just Fawn left alive. This is a very, very dark spot for him, as he will try to make his way out. He does have another teammate. No. Oh, but he's smoking heavily. He has to stop right here, right now. Oh, is he going to be going against Marius? That's absolutely insane the way that car went. If it would have knocked Marius down, that would have been the sickest one ever. Now Marius won't have necessarily the support of his teammates. Oh, and it looks like Fawn wants to steal Marius's bike. It's not going to be panning out though.
Yeah, Fawn now in a rough shape here. So back from Zarky, crashing into that compound held by Simsy, and that was you got to know that compound's probably got somebody in there. They were crashing his two, but that didn't work out. Now AIM here is like, whoa, I was having a good time here by myself, and people are throwing cars at me, things are exploding, and all of a sudden he's got an interloper next to him. As we see, Zokden Nam is there as well. So AIM, that looked like a high value exit there. Looks like AC landed just fine though. Vex there to receive him. Hearing that, AC having to use that cover down below, rotate a little bit further away. Vex putting pressure onto his teammate, trying to gather some info. AC very concerned about that other building right there. He doesn't want to get pressed, but he's looking to land a headshot here on Reese. Now, oh, here comes some nades as well. Andy is down. The res is going to come out. Reese putting pressure. No LOS there just yet. It takes a little bit of damage. This is a high-risk res, but needed. Andy is down. Got to use that opportunity to use that advantage, Boogie. Oh, no, right on top of them. That nade lands true. AC and Andy now in very rough shape. I don't think they have anyone to support them right now.
I do apologize for earlier on, Moses. We have to apologize deeply and profusely. Nothing was happening on the map, and we were actually banding, so let us apologize for that one. Just say sorry.
Sorry?
There you go. Some stuff is happening now, though. I think see Fawn still staying alive there from TSM. This games, though, in APR have done themselves a 1+1. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily working out because Zook and Nam are trying to push into this compound where this games is located. There's a crossfire that NPR can use, but it doesn't look like he's going to be firing off any shots. This game's making a heck of a lot of noise upstairs. Brother's going to be opening the door against him. Let's see if it pans out to their advantage here. This game's putting in the shots, but is it going to be enough? No. Brother breaks down the door and takes a name. To his credit, NPR is still alive though. Is he gonna be? How is he gonna respond here, Moses? I think the best way to respond in this situation is just to get the crap out. But because Fawn is so close to him, he can't even get out.
Yeah, NPR is in a bit of a rough shape here. Fawn, like you said, right next to him. Method's support was quite far away, so right now NPR is going into full defensive mode. He does have smack and break elsewhere in the map. We didn't see it where they are immediately, but Fawn is just like, I'm not moving. I'm not moving anywhere. They shot at my car, so I'm going to stay here. So Break and Smack are a little bit further away. Rogue here has got themselves a nice compound, also known as the school. Blade Cedo nearby. But ultimately, probably things are going to settle here for just a moment now that the movement phase is kind of finished and everyone's found themselves a home.
Yes, indeed. Method, going for that little swim there. Turtle, we can understand the nickname and the position. But Leighton, wouldn't he be laying down, I suppose? I don't know. What is he doing in the water? Well, they're finding themselves some sort of a position, I suppose. Is there anybody left from them? No. Still, NPR and Fawn won't have to take on the fight because they're in a very good position, as they are both. So they're pretty much going to have to work with each other at this moment in time. And we've seen this time and time again, actually, Moses, in competitive. We've seen teams actually take two places of a compound. Survivor, look at those crazy skate skills going downhill. Just prepping up for his weekend in Aspen. It's working out just fine for him. But yeah, we've seen this time and time again. Teams take one house next to another, and they use that to help each other out to try and keep everybody else out from the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. And zoning your opponents is something that you need to do. You got to use the zone to your advantage, allow that to pressure them into movements that they wouldn't otherwise be making. We see here Break and Smack now rotating around. That River is still playing a heavy role here. Smack getting closer to Ultra here, who is going to take some shots, and Break is going to hit the River here. So it looks like Smack is taking a little bit of damage here. He's going to do the same thing, so having to jump out of his vehicle into the river here. TSM having a bit of a rough go here. They are trying to probably reunite with AMPR here, who is still right next to Fawn, with Zoktan Nam having moved in, but Penta having a very decent control here on that bridge location, unable to or not going to allow anyone to cross near them. As you saw that pressure coming on to TSM. Knights receiving some pressure now from Lumber Mill up there as well, I believe.
Yeah,
so it looks like kind of settling in here for this next transition, but ultimately just poking happening, Boogie.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Lumber Mill has a bit of a position to work with here. They have a bit of a divot, a bit of a ridge. They can peek in and take shots to wherever they want, and they're not going to be contested where they are right now. So they have a very good position. Even if you guys see them play outside, it's actually not that hard of a spot to defend. This particular place, just north of the bridge where they're currently situated here, it's very powerful. If we actually zoom out and we have a look at the map and see, have a look at an overview and see how they're located, as you can see here, indeed, Lumber Mill are in a good spot. So from here, they can try and exchange shots with the Knights. They know each other's position, but then again, this is not going to be any kind of a war of attrition or any kind of a aggressive kind of push. They both have a good spot as it is, and they both can actually keep other teams from trying to come in.
And holding that zone as it transitions now, like I mentioned, will be important. We see FCE here. Not sure what they're going to do here. This compound that they're in is decent, but doesn't give a lot of options for movement. Breaksco and Chronics lurking near the river. You can hear the gentle brook right next to you. I don't think they have anyone with them. Oh, there you go. They have you near there as well. So they have a potential for a bit of a flank here, but there is no urgency for them to be moving. So right now it's going to be a bit of a information gather session here, as Chronics and company might not be aware of their presence.
Yes, indeed. Let's see what's going to be panning, how it's going to be panning out in this sort of situation. FC Espo are going to have to try and make a move slightly south, but they will have themselves some players close to them. See how this one pans out. Brexco will be leading the way with Chronix here, and they might just be going for a bit of a side flank here. Exalt Gaming have to take that enemy team close to them, because they're probably going to be blocking them for the next circle. So this might indeed burst off in this situation. But as soon as they fire their shots, they're going to raise the alarms for Lumber Mill, who will be looking to on their direction. Woogie Boogie hasn't spotted them yet, which is an interesting thing to note. But now he's going to be taking some shots in as well. But there you go. Now that the shots have been coming in from Exalt Gaming, the whole of Lumber Mill is pretty much going to be tunnel visioned on that area, which might make things very, very hard for them, especially considering that they're not in the circle as it is.
And we'll see how FCE responds here. They definitely hear these shots happening right next to them. Here comes the rotate, a vehicle coming out. Exalt taking some initial shots at them. So FCE taking some pressure here early as they're all jumping in their vehicles to transition. And Exalt Gaming is just being held down by Lumber Mill across the way. FCE is going to use this opportunity to get into the zone. Knights again in the middle of the circle in a compound. So the luck continues for them. But Chronix and company having spotted out FCE, now putting pressure in that direction. So a bit of a two-way fight here happening between Exalt Gaming and Lumber Mill, who have also started to move a little bit using that cover. But we'll see how Exalt handles this. They do have that ridge to run all the way along, so they don't have to take direct fight if they don't have to. So looking here, Knights method still in the water. TSM still holding on. It looks like Smack and AMPR have now met up. Break in the river, as Mickey and the rest of Vexed lurking on the edge of the zone. Penta still in good shape, hanging out in the middle of the map still. Avenger and Simsy looking like they're taking a few pokes over at LFO in the school. Rogue lurking as well. Boogie, I think we're going to have a bit of a battle here as this next circle transitions.
Yes, we might indeed. There you go. Finally had my issue sorted here from my end. Well, sorry guys, we're just trying to make sure that we're in sync with you guys, so that there's no kind of weird delay. Let's see what Fuffins chooses to do here. his teammates have already rotated into the circle, and the circle is going to be strangling him as well. Not to say that he cannot outrun this, but as soon as he would try and attempt to do that here, his teammates would have a hard time. So now he's staying from school, putting in some good shots, helping him out as well, but Penta comes out on top. Ultra with the first frag here. Fuffins cannot find the closers, and that's an important task for him. Reels is going to be taking shots back at him, so Fuffins needs to move out. And now all he can do at this moment in time is pretty much use some boosters and try to run it in, as his teammates are going to be alone in this situation. Actually, no, his teammates have been killed. So I think it's just him left in this battle. Anyway, the circle indeed will reveal itself. And as it is right now, as you can see, there's still plenty of water in it. So you can still see not that many teams as I would have thought there would have been, actually, Moses.
Yeah, the water is a double-edged sword. It provides you temporary safety, but coming out of it, especially in this area with all the high ground around it, would be very, very difficult. Wookie Bookie is in there. So if you're down and your team's in a lot of that's taking a lot of damage through there, just the last guy remaining, water's great. But if you're jumping in there as 4, you lose almost all advantage, and getting out of it in this area, like I mentioned, is just very difficult, and you can't manage that engagement. You see Udir's down there, Chronix and Breaksco receiving some fire. I'm not sure if they're aware that Wookie Bookie's right next to them. Breaksco looking around. Wookie Bookie also lurking. Lumbermill, I think he's all by himself right now with the rest of his team just a little bit further away. Spots out Udir taking some shots. Breaksco now looking to trade, jumping out, looking to take that angle away. Breaksco takes one in the face, however. So that's a good down there. He's going to try and finish that off, and he will. Chronix says, oh my God, my friend, you can't be doing that. Here comes the grenade. So he's going to try and this angle here. Up. I think a little bit too harsh on the angle might land. Oh, yeah, just a little bit low. But
it was cooked.
It was cooked. Just, I think another half a second or two, that would have landed right in his head. But looks like AIM, PR, and Smack. Simsy has entered the compound. I'm not sure if Smack heard him. He's lurking around, holding that angle. Simsy looking the wrong direction, but comes in from the other side, does Penta, and now it looks like Simsy's going to trade. AMPR is out of position, unable to trade for his teammate. So now it looks like Ultra is down. Simsy protecting AIM, having the information, maybe wanted to jump out the balcony. He's going to go out the side window, gets a flank here, finds it.
Oh!
Simsy returning fire, taking lots of damage. AMPR now receiving fire from Reels the X, who's protecting. Avenger now supporting as well, and that is going to be it for AMPR as well. Well positioned for Penta there. That was very close for Marius, but unable to convert. Break the last man standing for TSM.
Or swimming, rather, in the water there. Has a bit of an insurance. Still containing, circle still containing water, so he's going to be quite happy with that one. There's still 11 teams left alive. If you would have been in the compound with AIM, perhaps things would have went out slightly differently. Perhaps this entire team would have got wiped out. So that's why you see this insurance card setting in your 4th in the river or on the outskirts of the circle, in the water, on the sea. That brings you some sort of a chance at a better position here. Bruder doesn't have that, though. Reese is going to be taking him down. It looks like Vex are in a very, very good spot themselves. But as soon as they make their way into the safety of the next white, they're going to have a very hard task because it's quite an open area. So it's not going to be easy for them at all, indeed. Zuk the Nam might want to go for a push here in this push. I'm not too sure how it's going to be planning. Oh, no, they just want to save their teammate Bruder. And they will be getting that. Bruder's in a safe spot. Nobody else should be able to see him now. There is one solo guy playing squad number 5, but that guy is more likely to take shots at Vexed rather than at Zuk the Nam.
And Meek is with the AWM here, looking down onto these teams down in the Razak area, uncharged, and Zuktanam having received some fire already. Stab taking down Blade Cedo just off screen there. So Vexed is doing okay here. They've spotted out Fuffins. Fuffins taking a shot from the AWM. And now it looks like Jazza and company are going to have to try and get into one of these compounds there. Vexed is full strength, but sure if they're trying to position themselves around here, and they will take some fire. Jazza taking some shots inside that compound. That is a lot of bullets coming his way as he goes down. Fuffins as well. So that's going to be 2 kills picked up there for Vex. Vex still full strength. Actually, a lot of full strength teams here. Some headed into the water. Penta's in the water right now. Lumbermill rotating around that coastal area still. But Vex here is looking quite strong at the top of this hill.
Dingo. We'll be trying to find a different position against Vexed. Vexed want to make some sort of a move in here, but will they get the chance to do it? Raz has a sneaky kind of itch to try and push against Dr. now, but he's not going to be doing that just yet. Dingo's still the first one that could potentially spot them. And with that smoke, well, it looks like Vexed are going to be safe for not a lot of time. As soon as that dissipates, Dingle should have some sort of an angle onto that one there. We'll see how it pans out in the middle. In the meantime, 10 teams left alive. And oh, check this one out. One of the lads from Zuktan Nam getting himself knocked out. That's not going to make things any easier. Gustav actually from Lumbermill has taken him down. But now those guys are going to have to move in as well as pretty much everybody else. Just the Knights have a very, very powerful piece of the puzzle here, it seems.
Have the Knights not had the circle today at any point?
Yeah,
I mean, it's, you know what, they've gone through these games, you know, fragging out of their minds, but with the circle, the wind in their sails right now, so they're shooting down towards Method as Vex is trying to return far as well. Leighton going to be caught out here across by Reese. Turtle down there, so it looks like I didn't see who actually landed that hit on Leighton. It looks like it was Vex, but Reese going down himself now as the Knights have this wide open high ground location, but FCE lurking behind them. So Vex getting lots of pressure from Knights, and all around them, they have nowhere to go right now, Boogie.
Well, the water, pretty much, if they can get there. But the Knights actually have the angle on them. It's not going to be an easy task at all. We'll see if it pans out well enough for them or not. Looks like Drado wants to pepper them with shots, but they can also hear that FC Espo. Well, they don't know that it's FC Espo particularly, but they know that there's a squad just to their northwest. Still, they're going to be focusing all their shots against Vex, and ooh, do they connect? Boy, do they connect. Stab is actually going to be finding himself the close round to that one there. So Stab stealing, well, not stealing, actually, he got the frag on fair chance. Wookie Bookie also finding frag. That tells us that Lumbermill have now taken to the ground, but now as they do, it looks like Zurk and Nam have their names as well. Wookie Bookie won't be getting downed, but it looks like Stab will be falling by the Knights. Knights have an absolutely dominating spot where they are right now.
Yeah, there's nowhere better to be right now. They have high ground cover looking down on all these water teams. Even if the water teams, let's say they all banded together and didn't shoot each other on the way out of the water, Knights would have a perfect view of them as they come out of the water. Zokta Nam is in there, Method's in there, almost all remaining teams, save for the Knights and FCE here. Wookie Bookie, no helmet, having taken lots of damage. The sole guy of Lumbermill outside the water right now. I think Trifley might be on the coast as well, but this is going to be a tough rotate. The circle now closing. This is going to be hopefully the exit out of the water, or for their sake, the exit of Knights out of their dominant position. We'll have to see here.
There she goes. Splishy splash. Wookie Bookie will be taken to the water. And Trifley, actually from his same team, has a spot on land, so he's going to be helping out his teammate as soon as this circle updates. And if it is not going to contain any water, although that's less likely, it's probably going to have at least a little part of the river. But at least the fact that Trifley is actually on land, that means that he's going to be able to block off anybody trying to come into from the water area. Now, Dingle, caught between the rock and a hard place here, won't be getting any chances to move in. Espo are putting him down behind a rock, and it doesn't seem like they have the opportunity to finish him off. No, as I say that, Dingle takes up a lot of damage, but he has some boosters on him, as we saw his HP slowly getting up. There you go. He's going to be using a first aid kit as well, so he might be bringing himself to a better position. His teammates are not in the water. I think Dingle is the last one staying alive for his team. Very, very hard spot for Zerktanam. Very hard spot for anybody that's not Espo or the Knights right now.
Wookie does have the opportunity to shoot down into the water now, as they're all going to have to come out. FCE not quite in the zone, but having the advantage. Knights now, I'm interested to see if they're going to use this opportunity to rotate towards FCE and try and take them out, because if they do, they'll have control of the entire edge of the top of the zone there. So it looks like they're thinking about it a little bit. FCE taking a little bit of pressure here. Drayden trying to spot them out. So if they want to rotate there and clear them out, Knights will again be in control of this game. So we'll see if they have the courage to do so. It looks like Survivor is going to start to move here, getting on top. Mizey looking down. Survivor might have spotted him. Oh, looks like Bruder's taking down Wookie Bookie. Knights now going forward, taking down Dingle Raves. Boogie, do they have the courage?
No, they have to. They have to grab themselves by the courage and try to make a push for it here. Survivor, the one leading the pack, won't be spotting anybody just yet, but they know that Espo is just on the other side. They're going to be trying to put a stop to that one. There is smoke that might actually help teams coming out of the water. We'll see if it does indeed do that. In the meantime, Espo holding on to their spot. They got some UAZs to work out as well. They have the edge of the circle, but Dreadon and Survivor coming in from an unsuspecting position. One that Mizzy is not going to be suspecting. So there you go. He's going to be the first one knocked out, but Dreadon takes damage himself, so the trade is good. Still, though, Survivor is alive. What can he do in this position? Well, he's going to be taken down to Hoyuho. Now going to be putting himself behind a tree. Gonna have to use a bandage first and then a first aid kit. I don't think there's any chance, but oh, look at this. In the meantime, Espo actually get their chances at a res. And they're going to be playing at least as threes. If Missy can make the cross here, he's going to be playing himself. Oh, so low on HP. Takes one shot from his enemies, but it doesn't really matter. He will get the res himself. So Espo are going to be quite soon 4, unless Tuchel gets knocked out again. Oof, that's unfortunate. Dig. I'm going to have to play this one a bit more careful, but he at the same time has to go aggressive. Cannot allow the Knights to push him right now, and the Knights want to do just that. Irish gets himself spotted a little bit there, and it looks like he's going to get knocked out himself. Not an easy task for Esper right now. Survivor putting in the shots with the DP nonetheless, but Voxic, his teammate, falls. So that's him and Krama left alive, and Krama needs to heal. So this fight will be delayed a little bit.
That was so well handled by Knights. I just wish they had just gone for it just a little bit, but they did trade, so I can understand some of the hesitance there, sort of the hesitation. They used that smoke grenade to take away the line of sight onto the teams down in the water, as we see here. Survivor going down. Rahima now the last man standing. So this did not work out. I think the Knights maybe would have wanted to push once they had those 2 downs, but they opted to just watch the bottom of that water as the Knights now on the ropes, and FCE now in control of this top end of the zone, unless Rahima can get a res and also take it to them, but it's not going to happen. A Survivor is going to go down here with that water closing. So I liked the idea, just the execution did not quite pan out for Knights.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The fact that Krama is now a bit of a thorn in the side of FC Espo, it's got to be making, or it's got to be allowing guys from the water to actually come into the land. And I'm actually curious to see which one's going to be making it first on land, because that one's going to be able to take down everybody else. Currently in the water is just solos. That's literally it. It's just one member squads, so to speak, as is Krama. The only ones that actually have any kind of upper hand is here are the guys from FC Espo, but they spot Krama indeed. And with that in mind, now they're going to be trying to put a stop to anybody coming onto the land. As you can see, fast rotate coming in, Irish leading
right
the way.
to the water.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see if they suspect that the last one staying alive would be coming out of the water. Looking at the circle there, a smart assumption indeed. Larry seems to be the first one up.
It's like they're evolving before our eyes, taking their first steps onto land after all this time in the water, looking to see if they can knock out one of these other solos, like you mentioned, all solo right now. So it's just a matter of survival. You see Turtle here, the last man standing. Break for TSM, the last member of his team as well, and ultimately Vexed. I believe that's, I didn't see who the other guy was, but regardless, FCE just looking to, like, land sharks looking down at the fishes here, seeing if they can pick up some extra kills here on the way to a victory. But we'll see if I don't think they can even get up here. I don't think they can get up here. No, I think they're stuck there.
Yeah, Larry's safe where he is. And what the thing is that I think this is circle 8, and that's about it. No, actually, Larry's not safe where he is. Well, he is now. But yeah, this is the final circle. So Espo, all they have to do right now is push down. But do they have the utility to do just that? Because we haven't seen them use any kind of nades against the Knights in their battle there.
I thought it was just a little bit off camera there. I thought he pulled his arm back, but
right.
Break taking some circle damage as well, just trying to stay safe.
So as I was saying, they haven't used any nades, so they haven't, the guys from SCSPO, so they could potentially use the nades right now into the water. If they choose
you see
to
what
do
Break's
that,
doing?
Yeah,
he's trying to keep Ultra from getting up under the rocks by using his body to block him. So he's like pushing him into the zone but taking damage at the same time. So it's like some water strats here happening. But oh man, this is a tough ending here for these guys in the water.
This is dire. This is dire indeed. We'll see how it pans out. Well, the star is going to be coming up soon. And I sure hope that the star to close the game is not going to be a star that's in the water. In the meantime, Break has been taken down by Irish. There are still 3 little fishies in the barrel. Let's see if Espo can finish the job before the star shows up. No, they're putting in the good shots there, but because Ultra is underwater now, he's not going to be taking too much damage. Irish at least knows the position of one of them, but he's going to have to be careful because... Actually, no, because Larry cannot get up from where he is.
No, there's no way up.
It's all in the star. It's all in the star at this moment in time.
Yeah. So Larry has no way up. Well, he might be able to. I don't think that jump. Maybe I don't think the jumps would kill him regardless. He would get spotted. So it's from an effect standpoint. There's no way up from this water. So it's just going to be racing. Looks like Ultra will dive first, potentially giving his team a 4th place. I guess they have no nades. So if they did, they would be thrown by now. But ultimately, this looks like an FCE victory.
Yeah, it should be. By all means and purposes. Again, it's on the star. If you guys don't know what we're talking about the star, at the end of the 8th circle, what happens is there's going to be a star revealing on the mini-map, or on the map as well. And that's where the circle is going to shrink to a very, very tiny little dot. So that's where the game is going to be closing. And it's going to be happening quite soon, it seems. I don't think there's more than 30 seconds left until we do see the star appear. I think actually even less than that.
Do they leave it at the 5-minute timer in these settings? I can't recall.
No. It's not. It's definitely not. It's less than that. I think. Then again, we'll see how it is. I like this from Digger though. He does try to make some sort of side play.
I don't think he's having. I don't think he's
not
having an
actually
angle.
doing it.
He doesn't have an angle to get over there. I think they're worried about peeking over and like.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
For that reason. So, Mizey finishing him off. Probably, well, I guess the res is safe enough just to be absolutely 100% safe as Turtle. Maybe he gets the star. Maybe he gets it in the water or something. But
It's usually on the edge. The thing is, Turtle doesn't have any boosters. Look at that. He's got a sliver of life left.
Where is it?
That's sorry. He's got a sliver of life left to complete his full heal. He would have boosted until now.
Yeah. So the star is out of the water.
There
Turtle
you go. We're
seeing that. Yeah. So it's that's gonna be it. So GG to FCE. Excellent work to Turtle taking the bonus ball. But FCE securing themselves a victory here. Method taking a 0-kill second place. Vex coming in third place. Penta well fought fourth, and TSM sneaking into the top 5 again with a tough go as far as team fighting goes, but under the skills of Break find themselves in the top 5. And the Knights, the favorites to win, coming in a sad 6th place, but still good effort from them.
There you go. Yeah, it's still a good effort from them. Indeed, they got a little bit blessed, you can say, tonight, but they've fought their way as well in previous matches. There you go. That's something to be taken away from. Anyway, guys, we'll be coming back with the 4th and final match pretty soon. So we'll see you guys in there. And yeah, don't you go anywhere. We'll come back and hopefully we're going to be synced by that.
Say my name like it breathes on the tip of your lungs. Chase my tame like I'm a wild one. I've got a room full of magic and a room full of hallelujah. I've got a room full of magic and a room full of hallelujah. I've got a room. I've got a room.
little child, I was frightened of the world outside. Always hid myself from view, I was utterly petrified. I was such a teaser, pleaser, slapping on a steady smile, clowning around, playing the fool, and I never really spoke my mind. But there I am in a bubble, tiptoe on the fence, waving my arms, rolling my eyes, dancing with pretense. Shame I never knew, never understood the power of my needs. But now that I'm fully grown, I see the woods for the trees. Here I come, oh I'm wild and free. I'm gonna shake it loose, I'm gonna shout and scream. No more silence, no more gray. I'm moving forward, moving up to embrace this day. I'm open wide to every cloud. Take the blows, oh but I know they ain't gonna knock me down. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and there ain't gonna be no little me again. I said there ain't gonna be no little me again. So much so soon, and yet it's still so unclear. Always sticking to the guidelines, the crazy ground would disappear. But now that I realize so much was in my mind, so easy to let it take control over our heavy lives. It's such a funny thing, this weight upon our spines, breaking backs and breaking hearts, corrupting youthful minds. Just gotta hold on, hold strong, keep a level head. Take a step and keep your focus on the good times instead. Here I come, oh I'm wild and free. I'm gonna shake it loose, I'm gonna shout and scream. No more silence, no more gray. I'm moving forward, moving up to embrace the day. I'm open wide to every cloud. Take the blows, but I know they ain't gonna knock me down. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and there ain't gonna be no little me again. No little me again, yeah. I said there ain't gonna be no little me again. Here I come, oh I'm wild and free. I'm gonna shake it loose, I'm gonna shout and scream. No more silence, no more gray. I'm moving forward, moving up to embrace of this day. I'm open wide, whoa, to every.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back at you with the fourth and final match of tonight's APL. It's been a fantastic journey so far, and I myself, Papa Boogie, with the other storyteller, WTF Moses, we're super happy to bring you the story as it unfolds right here on Angel, brought to you by Skyline the Observer, who is now making some mad dashes into the sky. We'll see where the players choose to make their mad dash on Moses, as the plane is indeed there.
Yeah, a little bit of a more drastic plane path towards the north end of the map. We will see it coming across the screen right to left there, terminating around the hospital area or just south of it. So a lot of the southern portions of the map, Primorsk, Ferry Pier, etc., are going to be out of reach, as will be the military islands. We'll see if teams decide to make the trek down that way, depending on the first circle. but we should see some normal landing spots. We see TSM taking up in Yasnaya once again, and Penta heading for Razak. Vex the middle of the map, and Method should be able to make it down to Pachinki. So standard issue. Maybe Northern George will be inhabited this time around.
Yes, indeed, it will. It might. It won't. Nobody actually choosing to go there. And teams are going to be making a fair split towards the north side, it seems. Just TSM as well in Yasnaya. Poliana, as we set our sights towards the south side, we see that Mini has given up on the compound where Penta have chosen to go. And this time around, they're just going to be setting Ultra there, as he is indeed going to be a lonely, lonesome man in that spot there. There's no need for Simsy of Doom, as Simsy has picked himself up a vehicle, and is going to be going for the second one, which is probably going to be a UAZ as well. But he needs to be a bit careful because Mini is just south of him. So as Simsy makes his cross onto east of Varashok, sorry, yeah, indeed, he might get spotted by Mini. We'll see if that happens or not. Anyway, in the meantime, we see a Method go in there, and there's a rogue member of a rogue coming across Pachinki, parachuting across Pachinki, but it's not going to be a problem. Rogue's going to make his way out. It's going to be Fuffins as well. Jazza, did they have a vehicle to work with here? I'm not too sure. It doesn't look like they do. Maybe Fuffins can find something here.
You know, I'm interested to see. We've seen Noxious and Penta, or sorry, excuse me, back from Zarky. Or no, that's Noxious, correct. Noxious, Noxious and Penta rubbing shoulders basically through all games. Mini Fridge and Simsy have just been, at each other's throats this whole game. So they've split that little Razak area between those compounds, and we're actually going to get a far southeastern circle here. So Method will be one of the very few teams in the zone here. The rest having to parachute their own way. But not really a favorable circle considering that plane path, Boogie. Nobody in the zone.
Yeah, not a lot of teams actually have stayed in there because of that plane path. You are correct. Nobody actually went to Millie, which is an interesting choice. Perhaps we're going to be seeing teams use their vehicles to go in there a bit later on. Necessarily now, it seems like teams are quite happy right there. We're going to have a bit of a not so great loot. There might have been an early F in there for Fruffins. Did you know if you hold F down when you're in the car, you actually put the seatbelt on so you can use meds? If you hold F.
Yeah. If you hold F to use a med kit?
No, so you know the way you use med kits, but they get interrupted if you get a bit like a bumpy road?
Yeah, you got to hold
F. You put your seatbelt on, and that's going to help you.
Good. I heard that I think there's a secret honk as well. If you rapidly tap the F key, you'll get that. Yeah, no, it's... it works only in certain situations. You have to really rapidly tap that F button, and you'll be hearing that. It's the Cucaracha, actually, I believe is what it is.
There you go. It's a trucker's favorite. There you go. I don't know if anybody would actually listen to the casters at this point in time. But I
do it.
Do it.
Hear me, kids? Hit that F key when you're driving.
All right, there you go. First circle will reveal itself, and it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one to say the least, as you called it out. Not a lot of teams in it so far, but it looks like teams are making their way a bit later on into it. Of course, Purge will be heading kind of towards the farm area, and they're going to be quite happy with that position as well, especially considering that there's absolutely nobody there, and they're very close to the center of it. So yeah, what else can we say about this side of the match? There's not a lot happening. It looks like the one thing that I want to talk about here, why are TSM going into TS9? They've been talking a little bit themselves. Is the information that I've got is that they want to go a bit aggressive, a bit more into the fights, take a bit more of the fights because they have the manpower. In all fairness, they do have the manpower to do that. So they've been kind of discussing how can we approach that situation from North George, because we're always going to be playing late, we're always going to have to be forced to play the circle. And with these updated circles, it's interesting to see them actually change their strat, because the updated circles where they're much slower shrinking, it would make it kind of easier for them to do it.
Well, the one thing that I've been looking with TSM is how they do their scout and for essentially their first circle strategy. You see here, AMPR and Vis have taken off in the scout vehicles. You can see the same thing here happening with Method, HC and Andy moving together. So splitting up is not a surprising strategy. We see a lot of teams do it, but it's how they come back together afterwards. I think that's kind of where they've been having a bit of trouble, where it always seems like TSM is never quite together in the team fighting situation, out scouting or something like that. But when they are together and they are 4 up, we can see in the second game that they are able to do damage, and a lot of damage to other squads. They're a very talented team, but it's just a matter of their execution of their strategy, which seems to either have something missing or is just now.
Oh, that's sexy transition from our observer skyline from the crate to the map. And you can see it talking about the damage that you were mentioning. Talking about damage, indeed, there is an AUG, or Andy is kind of headed towards that crate right now. So if he does get it, indeed, he's going to be quite happy with that loot. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of gas. So, oh, there you go. He's got that super Baiku. It's actually Andy's favorite vehicle. But I think it's pretty much everybody's favorite vehicle.
I love that thing too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's able to pull off some crazy stunts on that one there. Now,
Not
he's getting away from it, but I think he might be circling a bit wider to make sure that nobody's actually taking any shots at him. And now he might be approaching it. Yeah, there you go. That's what he's doing. His team is going to be joining soon. They're pretty much done. Pachinki, pretty much all the teams are trying to make their way into the circle. Crispier as well, securing a spot for his team Noxious. But the spot is on the outside, though he does have some compounds just behind him. So he's going to be okay with that now. Crispier heard the bike coming in close. He knows that Andy's going to be in a very nearby position, but he's pretty sure that his enemy is indeed going to go for that crate instead of actually coming into the compound there. So Crispier, actually, oh, what happened?
Might have ran himself over.
He's
all by himself.
Right in the center, north of Crispy. Let's have a look at Mister there.
He might have crashed a bike. Is there a 3-seater nearby? Where is it? It's got to be somewhere.
There's always a 3-seater. There's always a 3-seater nearby. Let's
Maybe
see
he got knocked in a transition or something. Who knows? There's actually there. Oh, that's the regular.
There
bike.
She goes. Oh, it's a okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Crispy could res him. He could go and res him because Mista's bleeding so slow. Crispy might get the idea or the information that there's nobody actually close to Mista. So they might actually
the rest of them are coming.
That might be Crip that goes for it. Anyway, Lumber Mill, you can see that Trufali is making his way towards the circle as well. They've pretty much done with Severny. Crip seems to be heading towards the direction of Mista. This would be an important res because it's early on into the game and it would make for a huge difference if they have Mista on board or not. Would be pretty much effectively the first death, I think it would be.
It's so important to keep 4 up. It's just that advantage, and that's, I think that again, you can kind of feel the power shift towards the mid and late game, where if you have 4 up, it gets a lot easier for you to take those fights because teams have taken damage. They've lost a player to motorcycles or a bad rotation or something. So that 4 up is one of the absolute imperatives of success in the late game. But the way the game is structured is that it's very difficult to get there without taking at least 1 or 2 casualties, but avoiding it as long as possible is definitely the key here. So that's something that a lot of teams struggle with, is that on the rotation phase, the most dangerous time in the game, you'll lose a player. You get knocked off the back of a bike, or you'll crash into a compound and lose one in a trade, and that really affects your late game strategy as well as your late game success. As we see here, R is getting taken down by Diggle Raves, as we were just talking about that. Mizey going down as well. Bruder finding him, so they've come right in here. Zokden, Nam, and FCE have traded here, but it looks like Tuho Juho's got an uphill battle. Ooh, shots coming out of Bruder.
Spicy shots indeed, and doesn't look like Zokden Nam want any neighbors of their own. And they have the upper hand as well. Looks like only Tuho Juho is going to be the only one alive for his team. Espo have to kind of revert into the situation.
Oh,
so,
no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That is very unfortunate. Tuho falls to his certain death. Nobody's going to be going for the res. Mizzy follows suit. Just so that they can deny.
Still got the kill.
Oh, he still got the kill. Brother stole the kill indeed. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. I think one of the reasons why Tuho actually went that way is that he would deny the frag.
I don't know if I think 2-0 fell by mistake. I think I think
he knew he was dead.
Oh, well, maybe. Who knows? But I know that the second guy, Mizey, I think it was what it was, dove off to try and deny the kill, but the game, I guess, allocates the kill to the fragger regardless of whether you fall your death or not. So I didn't actually know that. So we all learned something.
Both of them actually gave points.
Yeah,
Yugo actually gave points to Brother as well because he killed him while he was knocked out. So there you go. That's an unfortunate time for FC Espo. We'll have a look at them later on and see how Didgery and his teammate perform. In the meantime, though, we see another crate. This time around, it's going to be picked off indeed. Let's see what it contains that it has.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, spicy
No helmet.
AWM. No, yeah, no helmet, of course. But it's got that 8X this time around. It's not a no-scope, not a Doritos crate. So Fubbins will be quite happy with this one here. Air Station Mike playing close to the air station position of the military base and being the only one team in that south side island, in the center of the island. There's another team in Novo, of course. We'll have a look at them later on. But there you go. The rest of FC Espo trying to make an exit, trying to find themselves a home for the first circle, and having a look at the map, they could find themselves something close towards shelter. They would better know that the area south of shelter is taken already, so they're probably not going to be heading that way.
Well, Rogue, formerly Air Station Mike, has actually got themselves a fairly decent position down the military base. There's not going to be too many people transitioning down there, because if you look at the circle, you can see that it is not going to go south. So they should have a little bit of time here, but looks like we have Noxious engaging here with Method at long distance in a bit of a poke battle. Andy taking one off the shoulder there. Did get that AUG. So Method is split out in these compounds, trying to make sure that no one can get anywhere near them.
And I think they already had 2 frags
there too. Oh yeah, they picked up 2 there as well. So
yeah.
Looks like Vex engaged as well. So a lot of poking happening here, Boogie.
Peeking and prodding, poking and dinking. It doesn't look like Reese is going to get any kind of frag onto Fawn, as Fawn manages to get himself a first aid kit inside the safety of the smoke. Ras pushed in. We'll see even less of what his teammate does, but he's got that Car 98. If he finds himself a good shot, then oof, that's got to be a spicy one indeed. Unfortunate position for Ras. He's going to have to rotate back to his teammate, because if he gets down to where he is right now, then there's no chance for his teammates to actually res him. So smartly, he goes back into the safety of the yellows from whence he came. TSM playing on the south island, as you can see, where Rogue are about to go.
I wonder if there's like it should go north here as we see the circle transition. So we see lots of water involved, but we do see now. So Vis and I think that's AMPR together. I can't. No, it looks like Vis and Smack are together at the south end of the map. There, or the south end of the bridge. They were holding that maybe to see if it would randomly go south towards them, but I thought that they might want to stay a little bit longer to hold a bridge camp or to assault Air Station Rogue now on the way across the bridge. But they split up unnecessarily and just give them even more time in vehicles, which is dangerous. Hopefully it doesn't land them any issues on this particular occasion. But that's what I was talking about. They seem to be split more often than not, and that can lead to some problems. Looks like they're going to have mid-zone here, though. They're going to have mid-zone here, so
and that's a very powerful spot to work with as well. That farm area, except for the north compounds, that's actually not a bad place to be in right now. Another team that's going to be trying to make a home from where Noxious are right now, and we'll have to see if it works or not. They're going to have to hear the shots come into them, but actually, unfortunately, because they're past the ridge, it won't. So they might push themselves into a fight. Mr. now taking position. Crip jumping around the fence to try and spot himself something there. Mr. has an angle to work with here, so this might be a good shot from him as well. Let's see if it does connect. It doesn't seem to necessarily. Wick is not really too bothered on that one there, and the smoke gets deployed to block off visibility from Mr. This means that the push could potentially commit at this moment in time. We'll just have to see if they do decide to do that. Be quite detrimental. First Circle and Purge are already going to get aggressive. Oof, interesting.
Oh, they're pushing through the open. They do have the smokes available. Not sure if they're gonna go for a full push here. They do have a path, but the smokes are starting to dissipate. You see, looks like Wick is gonna move off to the left, try and break in here. So interesting strategy here. Wick already receiving fire from elsewhere, so he's gonna have to push up these buildings just to avoid this line of sight. I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it. The smoke being heavily on the other side. We see here Mista leaning out, looking for any options here for fire, but Sane has managed to get all the way over to him. Crip has no line of sight either. These smokes being used to good at utility. They managed to get nice and close. Mr. TV, however, has the angle, and surprise, surprise, shoots him in the back of the head with an instant down. Here comes another one. Mr. TV, this is coming apart now very quickly here. Pushing in with the ump. So Mr. TV going down, and Crip is down as well. So 2 for 2 trade there. Purge there doing a good job getting up close, but they paid a heavy price.
Absolutely, but that's such an interesting decision by Purge, actually going aggressive on the first circle. I think there's something that might actually tilt Noxious Gaming a heck of a lot. They might become Noxious at this point in time. I'm pretty sure.
Fuming, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I would. Anyway, Rogue, Jazza more specifically taking some shots from Milta, it seems, but he's not going to be too bothered. None of them connect. He's got a Mini 14 to work with here with an 8X attached on top. it would be easy to return shots against TSM. But his teammate YNCK is not going to be too close to him to give him any kind of comfort or safety. Ooh, what does YNCK spot? What do you spy with your little eye? Well, you got a team close, or on the South Island close. Not that close. Is he going to be finding any shots? I don't think so. Way too far.
Okay, so we see here TSM having a fairly decent spot in the zone. Rogue now transitioning across, trying to rejoin with their friend over at the gas station. I'll be interested to see Rogue a little bit quiet today. We've normally seen a little bit higher performance than from ASM, now Rogue, but they are still 4 up. They're getting into the zone here with their vehicles. Decent cover from Vis here, who's taking some shots with the AK. So we'll see if TSM and Rogue come up against each other here. Interesting pickup. Rogue re-entering PUBG here, picking up Air Station Mike, a team that's been performing quite well. Actually, we do see Smack going down here from Jazza, so the trade is already starting. Smack now having to be rezzed, and no helmet on him anymore.
Yes, indeed. So it will look like the res will happen. There are teammates close to him, so that shouldn't be a problem. These games, in the meantime, we'll be holding off to the same angle there just to make sure that nobody dares to push from the gas station. But the circle is about to update, and it has indeed. And it doesn't look like Rogue are going to be in a good position, so they need to rotate somehow. They could take the water line, the beach on Milta, and just kind of push around that area there. That would make them unseen for the best part of their trip, and after which they could take actually onto water and try to go in from the southeast side of the circle. We'll see if that pans out nonetheless. Penta now trying to make a push forward. It seems they want to have themselves a shot at the next compound here. Nice, we'll have a decent Harry Potter to work with here. A bit of I say decent because there's a bit of a chance for them to actually get pushed in from the direction we're actually looking at right now. So they're not going to be sticking around there for too long. They're just going to be scouting out the one compound south of them. Ouch. That's a hard shot right now on Andy. Taken by Avenger. And it looks like Avenger is going to get the best of him. It looks like Turtle's taking heavy fire as well. That will attract the attention of TSM as well. I'm not too sure if Turtle's alive for too long. He's going to be blowing up his car so he can get close to it and pop a first aid kit. But if Udir has a nade, and if he throws that nade and it's actually going to be a molly, then he might actually cause enough of a damage.
It's on him. Oh, no, Turtle. Oh my God.
The one thing that turtles are weak at is fire.
Being set on fire, yeah. I'm very rare. It's some fried turtle there on the side of the road as methods rotate. Went south in a hurry. They got all sorts of trouble. They drove right through the middle of a bunch of different people. I don't know if anyone managed to survive. We see here Fuffins. I don't. There goes Andy. Yeah, so that's it for Method.
Aren't going to be many, but at least he's in the closer to the middle of the circle, much more closer than most of the teams are. So he's okay where he is right now. He's not going to have to rotate massive. Another team talking about rotations, trying to come in onto the North Island here. They're going to be making their way on foot. They have the information from Longbow here that there's a safer cross onto the beach area, of course. So LFO will find themselves just a sliver of a compound to work with as well, which is again another even more powerful compound. That mansion that they're about to take is a very good place to be in. Zucht and Num here. What are they going to do? Are they going to be in a fight? No, I don't think so.
TSM's moved on already. Actually, they've moved across into the other side of the street with the residential. So that's where they just were. They will be rubbing shoulders here with Zucht and Nam here very shortly. Business company poking out, seeing what's going to go on here. I actually like the positioning of TSM because these Milta circles, I know the Milta centered circle, often it'll either go north or to the west, but we will see how that goes as TSM's being prodded at by Exalt Gaming, taking down Smack, his Cup of Magic. So we'll see if the magic can continue here for Exalt Gaming. Lots of action in the Milta area. AMPR taking drastically low, just barely. Oh, just barely makes. Spoke too soon. So he's got popped in the back. Simsy popping AMPR. So TSM transitioning on foot between phases here. Smack getting finished off. So TSM went from having a good spot to all of a sudden being essentially 2 down here.
Yeah. Exactly, and Zucht and Nam actually taking their spot seemed to be in a much better position. So that early rotation that came in from TSM to try and get a better piece of the pie actually turned out to be to their disadvantage. Didgery, I think he's the last one staying alive from Espo after his teammates had that fight on the South Ridge. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be having any teammates to watch his back. Interestingly enough, the compound that is close to him is actually untaken. That's a decent enough compound to work with as well. This must be
Break's gone down too.
Oh, there you go. There's just Vis Games left alive from TSM. Sorry, AIM has gone down rather.
Yeah, aim is still break looked like he was trying to get across, but look at you can see on your map like Penta has a beautiful line of sight right across that crossing point. So it's very difficult to get through there. So in the effort to go and res, they have now gone to just Vis left remaining. So out of 14 teams I believe we started with, only one has gone down. And now Vis, the last man standing for TSM, as Rogue trying to get in as well. So it has adjusted to the north a little bit, but Milta proper still most of the way in. So this should be a relatively safe transition for Rogue.
Kind of. Not necessarily as soon as they peak up and they will spot Exalt Gaming, or rather Exalt Gaming will spot them. It's got to be a bit of a hard task for Rogue to actually make it into Milta. Hopefully though, because right now Exalt Gaming are occupied with their north side. I think they're taking shots at the Knights. That might make an entrance for the lads from Rogue. We'll find out pretty soon. Let's see though in the meantime, putting the shots with the SKS. Not a lot of them connect, but it looks like he wants to take a few more. No, actually he's not going to be doing that. Penta,
oh god,
with the rotation in the next circle. What a spicy dodge flip, and Reels brought himself to 1 HP. He's still making it alive, as Ultra does as well. That's who I don't know how, but I think they should apply for some sort of stunt driving position.
That was like a Dacia kickflip. I think that's if I were to.
That was no, that was more like a pub shove it, but yeah.
Okay, my bad. So Rogue, oh god, they get the terrain not doing them any favors there. Ewan going down. Jazza trying to cover the res. The smokes come out. More pressure coming. Looks like Exalt Gaming is there. Yeah, that crate's not. The crate's gonna be hard to get.
Wait, Brexco left the Groza behind, but took the level 3 armor. That's interesting enough.
Might not have had the ammo to support it, maybe.
Oh, look at Lumber Mill trying to make their way straight into the fire line of the Knights, and they're getting peppered in with shots. Stab now gets knocked out as well. And it looks like Wookie Bookie is going to be the last one. No, actually, there's one more teammate for themselves. There's Truffeli rising Gustav right now, but what can they do? They need to throw as many smokes as possible to try and make an exit from back where they came from. And with that in mind, try to go with the actually has any kind of safety at this moment in time. Safety for a moment, though. As soon as you'll go out of his position and into the white circle, he's going to be in a hard spot. But Krama taking shots with the 4x card 98 takes one to himself, but it doesn't really bother him. The second one will.
Yeah.
The second one will. And there you go. Gustav comes in with a good frag against Voxic. That means that the Knights will slowly divert their attention towards raising their own fallen teammates. This is a good chance right now for Lumbermill to actually go for the push, but Survivor steps in. Second knockout happens. Trividi has to kill up first, and then he's going to be going in aggressive, but Gustav gets down and killed by I think it was Survivor indeed. Gustav in the meantime actually got it down against Voxic, managing to finish off that kill. So Survivor doesn't actually go into the res for Dredan. Krama's going to be doing that while Trifidi smokes his butt out of there. Not a safe spot to be in.
I thought Trifley was holding the cover for him when Gustav was going to move, but Trifley was halfway through a med, so maybe a miscomm there. He is going to run out of smoke, and that's going to be it for Trifley. So Trifley going down. Wookie Bookie did get around as well. I was really hoping to see some cover fire there from Trifley, but I did not see he was not quite done medding yet, so maybe he didn't communicate that. Regardless,
yeah, that seemed to be an issue of communication.
Knights going one down, but still 3 up here, and we will see how this next circle shakes out. They've been getting lucky today. We'll see if it continues in their favor.
And no,
it did not. So it's going to stay over towards the Milta area. It looks like Vis is crashed.
I think the server has an issue because, as you can see, nobody's actually.
Yeah. It looks like the.
Oh lordy.
Hello.
Oh lord. Hi. Who's there? Who that new phone? Oh man, I hope this is not a server crash. I really hope that.
It's been happening today. I know that a few of the other popular streamers have been having issues today, so hopefully not the case. Let's all cross our fingers and toes and say the words, please no crash. And it's not looking very good right now. So maybe we can get a confirmation from our players in the lobbies here to see if it is an issue. But meanwhile, Vis doing an excellent running man, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's good exercise walking in against. Maybe he's training with a shadow. I don't know what's happening. It's the 1000 terracotta warriors or whatever that's called in the Chinese display. You know.
Ooh.
Oh,
I like it. Screenshots. I can use them for thumbnails.
Down the barrel of you gun. Oh my god. That got creepy real fast. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here, guys, but do bear with us. We're gonna be looking for a resolve. We want the game to go on as much as you do. Trust us when we tell you this.
Ooh, do a little shuffle. Cup of magic.
Oh,
hey, how are you?
Put some music on top of that. Oh, never mind. We'll find
All
out what
goes
goes
black.
on. We'll go for a quick break and we'll come at you when we know what's up. Hang on tight, guys.
Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a club thing. Maybe it's a street thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a club thing. Maybe it's a street thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a club thing. Maybe it's a street thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a club thing. Maybe it's a street thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a club thing. Maybe it's a street thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a club thing. Maybe it's a street thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a street thing. Maybe it's a club thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a disco. Maybe it's a street thing. Maybe it's a club thing. I don't know.
And welcome straight back into it, ladies and gentlemen. The fourth and final, hopefully, match is upon us here in the Auzom APL, and we are afoot with a bit of a more decent playing trajectory. So all the worst comes to good, I suppose, because teams are now going to be okay to take their favorite areas, with the exception of South George, where we've only seen one team go so far. Tonight, joining me, of course, going to be WTF Moses, as you've heard so far. Moses, what do you think about this playing path?
Well, a little bit more options here available, a little bit less of a drastic playing path than the one that we saw in the last game. So we will see teams Air Station, sorry, Rogue, getting back down to the military base. The Knights opting more for the Lipovka area. Their night going very well so far. And we see Method headed over to Pachinki, kind of standard issue for them. And Razak area is going to be contested as Penta and Zokta and Nam are kind of looking at each other in their parachutes, with Noxious Gaming landing in the school apartments area. I do not see Mini Fridge this time around. They do find themselves a vehicle. I actually don't see them at all on the UI there, so we might have had a potential crash there, or we're missing somebody. But it is it's getting later in the evening for some of these teams, so regardless, Method is going to be able to take over in that area, and Severny going to be inhabited by Lumber Mill. So lots of space. We'll see what happens here in the early game.
Dingo and one of his teammates from Zokta Nam are going to be trying to make their way towards Sojo, as that is their looting grounds indeed. Reels taking as many shots as you want with the bump shotgun, not going to be connecting Eddie, and that will see this fight break off pretty quick. Nobody else actually into fights or challenges at this moment in time, but Bruder is making his way where his teammates were before. So because the circle actually contains South George, Zukta Nam could actually be very happy to go loot South George. I don't think, nobody actually went there, so this would be a good opportunity for them to actually make a showing in that area. We'll see if they do indeed. Looks like they kind of want to make their entrance towards that spot of South George. One of them actually having stopped a very powerful compound, which is on the death road, as we call it. In the meantime, Mikaz has stopped by into not necessarily the best of compounds here, but then again, he's got some to work with here. The rest of Vexed normally go south of George. Sometimes they even take the shooting range if they do feel daring. This time around they haven't. And it looks like Gustav from a lumber mill taking the small little bunker just north of shooting range as well. So yeah, teams are getting aligned to their normal position so far. It doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. I don't think we're going to be seeing any fights anytime soon.
I don't think so. I mean, we're going more to the northwest now, so TSM maybe looking at that northern Georgia area and saying, well, maybe we're going to mix it up this time around. But they are holding true to their strat today of going over to the Yasnaya area. They don't have much of a tough transition. They will be able to get across that bridge or up and around. Not too much preventing them from doing so. However, it does look like Rogue and to an extent LFO have the longest possible path back to the plane, or back to the play zone, with Tamil and Fawn and company also looking at a fairly long trek. So should see some early transitions here as the scout vehicles now start to move out looking for their new homes in the first play zone. See your Crip moving along in the UAZ. And we'll see how this first thing shakes out here, Boogie.
Yeah, well, it should shake out okay for them as well. He's going to be taken close to... actually, he's heading on the back line of Vexed. Crip should know, technically, that that's where Vexed usually loot. I hope that he's got that information that he needs from his teammates. Looks like TSM will be making their way from that area as well. But they're not going to be fancying stopping anywhere soon from that spot there. Crip seems to be coming quite close to Raz. This is a bit of a danger play here that Crip is trying to do. But, is he going to go for it? No, okay, so he's not going to be contesting the compound where his enemy Raz is right now. Instead, much rather go towards the western side of the circle. Looks like Raz kind of has an idea. Heard the UAZ go by, and we've got to be taking some shots with the M16. None of them connect those, so Crip will make his way further down the road.
Yeah, and you can see by the way Crip is just, pathing his vehicle. It's smart not to drive too close to that compound. You can't assume that even in the early game it's going to be uninhabited. You'll see the same thing here happening with Zokta Nam, probably hearing that UAZ approaching as well. Crip opting for the higher path, using the trees as cover, will flip over onto the other side of the ridge, protecting himself. So otherwise, this is how you want to transition with a scout vehicle. You see teams often lose players with scout vehicles. It happens a lot, and handling those paths and knowing how you're going to get there is really important at this level of play.
Absolutely. Crip now heading straight back into another compound where Vex is known to loot early game. This lack of information from Crip might end up with him being downed. I don't know if there was some shots fired up against him, so he'll know that the compound is taken. He won't tell his teammates to come into that one. So it's good that he sent him as he scout, but it's kind of bad that they sent him pretty much everywhere where Vex Gaming choose to split loot. Because Vex Gaming, this must be said, they're kind of a split loot kind of team. They normally do the side just north of the river. They're south of the shooting range. Sometimes, as we said, they go onto the shooting range themselves. But generally, this should be known, technically, in all technicality, by Noxious Gaming. Anyway, Tuhoyuko has done with the crate and will now spot for some juicy method, lads. Can he find the closer, though? AWM will be taking the shots. So the first one misses. Second one will come as well. They won't connect like that. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah. It does connect indeed. That forces Met to come out of their position. Tuhoyuko's taking heavy damage. Now forced to go behind a tree, but the shot on Andy doesn't fail, and that was a turtle in a 1v1 situation right here. Nobody else from
turtle
or from Method are going to be quite close, but there you go. Tuho gets knocked out himself. That's going to be a res for Andy, and it's a decent thing because his helmet wasn't popped off, and that leaves him much better in this battle here. They will be able to take the vest from Tuhoyuko, if anything.
Yeah, and you can see here Tuho having no support. Turtle's gonna go over there and say, hey, well, I saved you, Andy. I guess I get the AWM and the 8X here. So that's a great pickup here. As you see Mizzy shooting over towards them. Tuhoyuko well out of range.
Oh, Lordy. The worst weapon to have with iron sights, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm gonna get him if I could just see them. Or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A mate of mine actually told me it looks like kind of like you're shooting through the butthole of a small person.
Your mate told you that, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
Okay.
I actually have the clip to prove it. So Gustav as well making close to not his teammate. Krip is going to be taking shots. Gustav going straight in deep
how are you?
as he goes for the drop, but it's not going to be panning out. That's a bit of a sneaky move from Krip. Normally what pros do, they fire off early enough so that they fend off any scouts coming in here. But Krip wanted a bit of juicy loot, and he's got his hands on it.
Trap spider. Yeah, just hanging out in the garage there, just waiting for him to show up, and someone came deliver not only a vehicle but also some loot literally to his doorstep. And we see here Kaint now engaging with Andy and Turtle, not out of the woods yet. That orange Dacia doing them some favors here, trying to just find a way to their waypoint here. I'm not sure if they're still trying to scout, but Method taking some fire here in the early game, but making it okay so far.
Yes, indeed, and they're going to be grouping up with the rest of their teammates. They're going to be quite okay with the compound that they have. It's pretty much centered. Yeah, it's pretty much centered to the circle as well. So they're very okay with their current position. Some fights break off on the south side of the circle here. It looks like Wake and Weraroska are getting quite close to one of the members from FC Espoo, but it doesn't seem like they will be bothered by the shots too much. Wake took some damage, and now as they approach a compound, which is going to be safe, they choose to go past it, and you can't really blame them for it. They want themselves a better piece of the current fight. Hopefully they're gonna find it. Okay, there you go.
Road rage.
Yeah, there you go. The exactly literally the two words that describe the situation. A bit of a road rage coming in from Mewan. He's not gonna find any frags. Oh, himself might get pushed back. Oh my god, that looked like the bike actually pushed him. That would have been a bit of a bad moment, I suppose.
Some of those three-seaters do know karate, so you got to be very careful around them, especially when flipping them out for their backs. They will flip kick you in the face if you're not careful, but that was pretty... I think that was Ewan who knocked him off the bike or got knocked off by Wick. I couldn't see who it was. But yeah, Wick Ewan, now returning the favor. Wick going down to a tumble. So Rez actually being returned here in favor. So Wick, not one to die. It looks like, yeah, he got ran over. Is he dead? He died.
He did. Straight as they found their own safe compound.
Just under the wheels of the Dacia. Yeah. Thanks a lot. That's what you get, man. That's karma coming back at you.
And there you go. Thanks, Obama. Bruder as well trying to make his way from Zuk Nam. He will be grouping up with his teammates later on. For the moment, though, he's found himself a different place to work with here. And of course, the compound that the Zuk Nam actually have, the majority of Zuk Nam have, is a very powerful compound to have, because you can find yourself a lot of frags from that one there. You can gatekeep anybody trying to come into that bridge, the death bridge as you call it in pro play, and you don't necessarily have the chances to get surprised. It's a very wide and open area. Just slightly.
TSM is split again. You see that? TSM split up again.
Well, let's have a look at the map. Let's have a look at it again.
I'm not sure. This is something that we continue to see and it hasn't really been doing too many. Like, they've had an okay night. They are, to be fair to TSM, they are in second place overall tonight behind the dominant Pittsburgh Knights. But this, I'm interested to know, they do have two fairly good positions, the pit by the plane, as well as this little hill area down by the transition. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get back together, but you see here, Vexed and Noxious have the ability to kind of put a wedge between them. And not to mention, they are going to have Lumber Mill showing up fairly close as well. So if this gets into a 4v or a team fight situation, they're going to be at the disadvantage. We see here Zokt and Nam crossing across the invisible bridge, already receiving some fire. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out for TSM. I can't fault them too much because the results have spoken for themselves, doing fairly well tonight. But we'll see how the rest of this game plays out.
Yeah, they normally make it somehow into the top 5, so they seem to be doing okay with the split. I don't know. I don't know if I like this one in particular because they don't have a crossfire setup. So if 2 of them get knocked, the rest of the other 2 won't be able to get a res or any kind of defense for their fallen enemies. For their fallen teammates. Nayu, in the meantime, to come close to Espo. He's got to think twice about that one. On the bike, so he's got the advantage of speed behind his back. And we'll take only
flip.
one shot.
Evasive flip.
Not going to happen. And there you go. Teams have settled into the circle. I want to zoom out a little bit, see if there's anybody actually outside of it. I think
most everyone's transitioned in. I think everyone's made it in so far. It looks like Exalt Gaming were the last ones to get in there, coming into Pachinki now a little bit late. FCE is also split up. Mizzy is by himself. Rogue chilling at the base of that hill there. So TSM will get the advantage of being in the next zone, but AMPR already scouting, smack moving as well. I'm not sure if they're just going to relocate here to get back with their teammates. But this is where we see teams come into trouble here in the later zones transitioning with vehicles. You'll see they're going to come right across Octanam, coming to this new house here. Decent vision across the way. But we do see that sometimes you'll see players get caught out in these transitions with the vehicles. And that's where you get into a bit of trouble. So we'll see here what happens.
Yes, indeed. AIM is going to reposition his bike, trying to find a bit of a better spot. Can he do that? Yes, he can. And actually, they're going to recall
lots of pressure coming.
A different place, which is the hills, which is right. These hills where they're playing right now is actually a very good spot for them. 8C getting himself booked off the trike, but it's not going to be dealing too much damage. But his enemies will. Looks like he's taking in some shots, but he's going to be quick to go to his bike. Can he make it out alive, though? That's my question. And it seems like he can. Leighton stops by to help him out. Just get in the car, mate. Get in the car. We're not safe here. He doesn't, though. 8C
AMPR knocked a guy out there. Looks like Vex going one down.
Where TSM are playing right now, they're actually quite powerful in that area. Some teams coming in from towards North George. That's an interesting place to go in because as soon as they're going to have to leave, it's going to become a massacre, a bloodbath. We'll see how it pans out.
I'd like to see TSM try and hold that northern hill area that we saw AMPR heading to. You can't really guess where the circle is going to go, so I'm not saying that they should have that in their minds, but the spot where Method is, it's exactly what I was talking about. They've actually come to the this other portion of the same type of area, holding this little bowl. So they are 4 up. I don't think they ended up losing anybody. Leighton collecting 8C there, so that was important. And now we see here Penta getting very close to the Knights, who are on foot.
There goes Avenger. First one down. Simsy's gonna follow suit if he cannot help it. Well, he can. It seems like Avenger's gonna be brought to nothing. No, Simsy actually got knocked out himself. So there you go, another one out of the lineup of Penta Sport. I don't think that there might be at least 1 or 2 alive for them, so that's at least that. Yeah, the Rios and it looks like and Ultra are still going to be alive. Ultra start shining bright like a diamond here, but yeah, the circle is going to be indeed shrinking now, leaving just a few teams on the outside here and some fighting on the north side. Knights putting in the knocks, really good shots out of them.
Yeah, so the Knights have been doing an excellent job of just capitalizing on any mistake that happens around them. You see how Penta rotating on that vehicle, trying to find a spot to call home in the news circle, and they immediately get caught out driving right by an on-foot Knights team. So they will get the res onto Reels, but here comes a smoke grenade, trying to get a little bit of cover here. All the smoke's coming in now, pressure mounting. Ultra taking a few shots, having to duck into there. So now the Knights are out for blood. They are rotating right towards that shack, going to take away all escape angles. Drayden on the left-hand side. Might have spotted Reels. Reels taking some shots in the back here, trying to get away, ducking and diving, not going to be able to do it. More smokes on the way here. It looks like he's just firing into the opening. Ultra, the last man standing. Survivor going the opposite way now, just firing into the smokes.
The Knights are absolutely brutal. The Knights could have easily chosen to give up on this fight and go towards the center of the current circle, but they first want to make sure that there's nobody to their behinds. What a nade. What a nade? I don't know what that means, but I was combining wow and what. Ultra is in the same situation, saying wow and how am I alive? But he's not going to be alive for too long here.
Yeah, this is a last-ditch effort here from Ultra. Maybe he can get a kill if he peeks out and takes a shot at Drayden, but Drayden's got his sights panned right on that doorway. You can already see the nades coming in, and
there you go.
Drayden finishing that off. So another team wipe for the Knights. They are racking up an absolute ton of kills tonight.
Beautiful team effort.
Penta. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the positioning, the movement, going in for the kill. And they have the time and space to do so. Looking to see, looks like Smack is taking up residence in the apartment buildings with the rest of TSM. Just at the northern end here. We'll see how this circle favors them. It should kind of adjust some of this northern George area out. And we see a sad Groza abandoned on the side of the road.
Oh, Ripperino and Pepperoni. I think someone might actually go for that one there. Potentially on the rotate. But I don't think they're going to be actually having any time to do that because rotations might be coming in a bit late. But yeah, where you pointed out the Smack is now, and he's going to be calling for his teammates to appear as well. That's actually a place where small apartments is a place where TSM are quite comfortable. The members of TSM are quite comfortable to be in. So their normal looting grounds is North George. So they know this area like the back of their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. They spent most of their early game here for the past several months. Looks like we see more
whole game here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless they absolutely have to move, that's the benefit of the circle. As Buffins is taking a ton of fire. Bruder here, Bruder shooting across. Buffins trying desperately to make it into the water, not going to make it. So Buffins going down here, and FCE takes another casualty as ours went down. And it looks like Rogue is just having a terrible rotate right now. Not much to fault of their own, but that the UAZ is now empty as Jazza taken down now. So Breaksco and company picking up a few more kills. Exalt Gaming doing some damage to Rogue. As we move over here and we see Crip. Looks like he's under fire here. Zoktanam, the rest of the remaining team members here. Looks like he did go down. So Vexed and Noxious here engaged.
Noxious finally secured themselves a piece of the puzzle. They have a good part of North George to work with here, or Nojo, as you want to call it in if you're from the West Coast, I suppose.
The West Coast of
the West Coast
of
yeah, sure. You know what?
you know, exactly. We don't call it Northern Georgia Pole here. We call it Nojo, bro.
Nojo, bro. We need some, what do you call it? Some organic shops in there.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's made out of hemp in Nojo.
Yeah. I feel like that should be put on a t-shirt. Everything is made out of hemp right here in Nojo. Bruder are taking shots. He's wide. Oh, sorry. He's wide on the open though, Bruder. This is a ballsy move out of him to actually go for these shots because he's fully open to Nojo right now, the North Georgia ball. Nobody in there seems to be spotting him. Probably maybe they don't have the scopes, or maybe they're not positioned. Oh, actually, no, wait, nobody was in the south apartments on the north side of Georgia Ball. So there you go. Teams just barely make it in now. FCS was going to be taking that position. Lumber Mill, in the meantime, are in a bit of a difficult spot. Stab has been knocked out himself, and his teammates seem still to be alive, but Stab won't be for long. Zenta puts the shots into that Dacia and finishes things off.
So it looks like we have Lux and Fawn. Lots of vision coming out of them here. So back from Zarky. Not too far from Zarky, but they are managing that vision of Nojo fairly well. I like the positioning of TSM. They are located right in the middle of the circle. We see the transition happening here again. Bruder and Exalt Gaming. Hey, look, there's a tree. All right, so he's going to use that to stop his vehicle jump out here. Not wanting to transition too much further on vehicle. They are receiving fire from YNCK, the last remaining member of Rogue, or one of the last remaining members of Rogue. Looks like he's by himself, at least over there.
It's just him.
Oh, no, I know Ewan's down in the coast there.
Oh, yeah, it is in the water. Just the safety card, I suppose, the insurance for Team Rogue. A drop appears, though, suddenly. And it is quite close to a team. Let's see what he's got to be packing. Mark 14, not too bad, not too good. Lumbermill could go for the level 3 Vesto. And they could actually go for the...
it's right on top of them. They're very incentivized to get there.
If we click on Triffity or Wookie Bookie, we'll find out if it's just the two of them playing, though. It looks like, actually, it does look like it indeed. So it will be indeed just the boat that I'm in here. There you go. That's the information for you for Lumber Mill. In the meantime, the last guy from Rogue, YNCK, well, on land, trying to make it from the East Coast. Most of the teams have found themselves in North George. quite safely so, but the circle's not going to contain most of North Georgia. So all these teams are going to have to go into the circle and fight it off most likely.
Yeah, the circle does tend to adjust water and cities out of the zone. So we see that happening now as all the water comes out and most of the city. TSM still relatively safe. Wookie Bookie and company still in the middle of the zone with that crate sitting right next to them. They are in good natural cover, but they don't have the manpower to take a full-on rotate here as YCK is coming. Oh, go ahead.
That crate might actually be some of their best cover from the south side. I actually do have some ridges to work with here. YCK,
Hey,
why would you
pull.
go so close? Ouch. That's it for him. Trifidi puts him to sleep, but I don't think that Wookie and Trifidi are going to be going too crazy on the kills because, well,
Kill
looks like
steal
there's gonna be-
coming.
Yeah. And there's no point for them to actually go for it. They know exactly where Back from Jarky are playing from, and Back from Jarky still have a decent place on the little mountain that they have in there. So they're gonna have to let this one go. Mill, no other choice to do that. But in the meantime, Knights rotate to their north. So they might find themselves in a bad spot. Miss taking heavy shots. Didgeridoo doesn't seem to be in the same spot. Yes, he does. Missing out with a sliver of life left by the lads from Noxious Gaming. Will be forced to first aid kit in the middle of the road. Crips got the nade, but it won't really connect.
That looked beautiful. It looked like it just went right along the top of that rooftop. Didn't quite make it to the remnants of FCE here, who are trying to get into the apartments. But we do see Pittsburgh Knights still full strength. TSM full strength as well. So a lot of teams utilizing this cover to stay relatively safe and sound. Bruder getting some pressure from the Knights as well. Can't see where that's happening just yet. I think they've they just made it past them. It's behind them there. Bruder made it around. Dingle Raves might make it through. Will not make it. Udir actually picking that up and finishing from very far. So that's Exalt Gaming picking up another one there.
That's not too bad. And this actually wasn't that far, 200 meters. But yeah, there you go. Vex trying to make a move into it as well. But the Knights are absolutely vicious, man. I love watching these play. They're just absolutely down. Look at that. They even need dead bodies. That's how brutal they are. Ras is getting taken down, and well, his teammate Reese is gonna try and make an exit for it. Can he do just that with the Knights in his back and the car exploding? We're close to blowing up. Yep, it's gonna go in flames. And that is Voxic closing the deal for Vexed. We're now out of the match on 12th place.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice to stay with the vehicle. I think the zone wasn't giving him too much options. Bruder made it through, but now it looks like Exalt and the Knights are going to kind of poke at each other here. Back from Zarky, still in the zone, up on that high ground, shooting down onto Lumber Mill, and it looks like TSM to an extent as well. We do have LFO chilling in the buildings. This next circle is probably going to adjust a large amount of these buildings out of the zone, so we will see a migration unless the circle decides to stay on Georgie, but judging by the edge of that zone, looks like it might come out, so we'll see. But the Knights right now engaging straight on with Exalt Gaming. Long-range shots from Chronix with the 4 times on the AK.
And these interesting taps from Chronix, just a jiggle peek, the peek and hide, seem to be putting him in a good position of not getting dinked down, but at the same time, because he's forced to take shots super fast, he's not going to be connecting either. Well, at this point, this is just a bit of a war of attrition between the Knights and Exalt. We'll see how it pans out later on, because right now, Knights might get sprayed in by Back from Jarky. If Back from Jarky, they do have an 8x, okay. So Zenta could potentially spot enemies further down from Lumber Mill. We'll see if they do indeed. Well, at this moment in time, okay, Lumber Mill actually have the upper hand because Back from Jarky need to make a move. So even if Lumber Mill play as 2s, they have the circle, but they will have the Knights on them. Oof,
so TSM, in my opinion, now has the best spot as it did stay on Georgie. So a lot of that open area being reduced. Now Exalt Gaming having to rotate back into the city, as does Back from Jarky. But right now the Knights have the longest distance to travel. I don't think they can utilize vehicles because that would be very, very dangerous. And now we see here Noxious using the smokes to move across into the next set of buildings, get into the new play zone. FCE holding on with 2 players remaining. But right now it's looks like Blade Cedo actually landing some long shots there. Where did he shoot from? I didn't even see where he got him from.
Up to the right.
Yeah, maybe up. No.
What?
Maybe a line of sight from the city. Yeah, they shot him down the laneway there. You can see LFO has LOS all the way down the alley there. Sorry, too many acronyms. All the way down the alleyway. So he did manage to pick up that kill. So nice sharpshooting there from Blade Cedo.
Absolutely. Needs to make it into the safety of the white. Couple Magic leading the way here for Exalt Gaming. Let's see if they do indeed get themselves a chance, because TSM are going to be open arms waiting for them. Couple Magic coming in close, dangerously close indeed it seems. This game's in the smack might put them down. And there's a bit of a crossfire from breaking NPR from the other side of the road. It's a cup of magic. Peeks in, doesn't spot his enemies, but I'm not too sure if they were spotted themselves. Doesn't look like it so far. Yes, NPR definitely saw them now. Shots came into him. He will also relay the information to his teammates that there is a squad approaching them. So this would be a difficult push right now for Exalt Gaming. And I don't necessarily favor their chances with the circle shrinking down.
Back from Zarki, having not opted to use that ridge and move closer into the zone, have now come down on a receiving pressure. So Exalt Gaming having to find a way into the zone. They have a lot of windows looking at them. Noxious Gaming as well as TSM pressure. So they're going to have to run into this little gap here. A couple of shots being received by Break, I believe. And Smack will take him down.
Okay.
So picking up a down here, not necessarily a kill just yet, but Exalt Gaming having to run right into this alleyway. This is going to be tough for them. Crispier is not too far away. They have windows looking at them as well, but it looks like the rest of Noxious is just looking elsewhere currently. FCE going down too here.
In the meantime, Mista finds himself a frag, and as we look at it, Sojo is, sorry, North George is actually quite accommodating for a lot of teams, it seems. Oh, look at that north side. Lumber Mill have lost themselves members, so now they're just gonna have to play as Wookie Bookie as the full roster of the Knights are pushing in from all different angles, directions, and perspective. Voxic might be the one that closes the deal. Wookie has absolutely no clue that his enemies are coming in from everywhere, but he takes the shots nonetheless, gets himself one knockout, but that's gonna be about it. Krama brings him down, and there's no drama as Knights survive the day.
All right, so this is what we expected to see. Maybe not last circle, but this circle. All of Nojo has come out. Only one edge of a building remaining. So now, again, it's the Knights with the best possible position as far as land cover is concerned. It looks like they did lose some. Did they lose somebody there, or that skull belonging to Lumber Mill? But TSM immediately rotating and now getting pressure from the back outside of the building. Yeah, it looks like the Knights are still 4 up. Yeah. With back from Zarki having made it into the field there. So
that
interesting. It looks like. Yeah, the Wookiee dying there. Poor Wookiee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poor Wookiee. But there you go. Nojo is about to become a no-no. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry for that.
Anyway, looks like we're going to be taking a look here at TSM, who is now returning fire back onto Exalt Gaming. So the Pittsburgh Knights again find themselves with the circle, the best position, spread out, trying to get as much vision as possible. Mr. TV locked here with Mizzy, the last remaining member of FCE. He has no trade available. Crispy or somewhere else. I don't see where he is, but regardless, trying to hold this peak here. I think this is a good position here. The zone coming in now. The options run out. Mizzy putting pressure, and actually losing that fight, but the zone pressing now. He's got a first aid. He has to first aid almost immediately. That zone's going to do some damage to him. It does move slower, but it does do damage.
He doesn't have time for first aid.
No, you don't think so? Okay.
No, he doesn't. Has to move a bit further down. Where Crispy is right now would be ideal, but where it's not ideal is the fact that Cup of Magic is actually peeking in against him. So that leaves Mista alone for Noxious Gaming, whilst TSM are going to be quite happy to receive these guys coming into the next circle, as they have themselves a little ridge to work with as well.
Nice. Good angle.
In the meantime, exactly. Has found himself another frag. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Aimant has this great laneway down onto LFO. He's got no support there. I wish he had maybe one more guy to come help him as Break comes to support, but they do have that information now, Boogie. But they're going to try and clean up people coming out here. Vis spotting out Mr. TV. Ooh, taking some damage in return. But Nayu now pressing right at them. LFO says, we want the spot too. AMPR taking some shots here, but nothing landing. Smack returning fire. Not working out all of a sudden. Break going down. Nayu Dynamic going down as well. So all of a sudden, Nayu and Longo trying to go 4v2 right now. Vis pops up, takes shots. Nayu takes him down, trades out, however. But right now, this zone is not going to do TSM any favors as Longo and company are engaged with the rest of Rogue. And to an extent, Purge there as well. Purge Gaming holding out Rogue. So he's got the gear, but he does not have the position right now, having to rotate back into the other area. And the play zone will take Vis and Break out of this game. I don't believe he's going to make it. So TSM is going to lose 2 there in that trade. Maybe might pick up another one here if Ewan can survive.
That's it. Just going to be Marius peeking in where Ewan is right now. has the idea to throw a nade in that direction, but because it's a downhill, it's very hard to make that nade connect.
Yep.
Crest makes it hit the other side. Anyone's not going to be too bothered about that one. And yeah, TSM are going to play as 2. Not a lot of chance for him. Still the Knights staying alive as 4. And as you saw earlier on, this might give you a bit of an insight. As you saw earlier on, the battle with Penta, even if they caught Penta off guard, they didn't relent until the whole of Penta was dead. So the Knights stick together, do their dirty deeds, but they make sure they all survive in. So now they have a decent chance to take this one home. We'll see if it happens indeed, because they have to make their way into a bit of an open area. And as they do, TSM might catch them off guard, more particularly Smack. Back from Jarky as well, in a decent spot as well. Using UAZs as cover, but for how long? That's the question.
So it looks like the Knights are opting to set up a new set of cover here in the zone. Drayden coming out here. I normally see the Knights split out and use maximum vision to their advantage here, trying to get as many favorable spots in the new zone as possible. You see here, we have Purge Gaming receiving some fire from Survivor. And now Smack taking down Rogue, Ewan, and finishing Rogue entirely with a well-placed nade. So TSM do have to come over this ridge and into the zone. So the Knights have spread out and taken away a lot of real estate here. Going to make it very hard as back from Zarky has to contend with the rest of these teams trying to get in.
The Knights don't necessarily know that there's enemies to their south, so they're not looking there. They're literally right now Purge, and it kind of works out. Through the smoke, frags are coming, but now they know of TSM. They peek into the south side. TSM have to make a move for it because the Knights have the circle, but their enemies don't. TSM tried to go in through the smoke. They're not going to be panning out too well on that one. There's Smack still alive, but won't be alive for too long as Zenta brings him down. Zenta as well. Good idea from back to Jarky, but that's now going to be back to Jarky versus the Knights. 2v4 situation. I don't necessarily favor the chances. 3v4, right?
Yeah, 3v4. So the Knights have, like, look at the way they're spread out, and the nades are going to start to come next as they have all, look, it's a perfectly spaced attack here. They have all these angles onto these vehicles, and back from Jarky just has to prone and peek and pop and just lay back down as these vehicles are going to start to get naded, and they are continuing to press pressure. Look, they're coming in like a noose here around the rest of back from Jarky, and they just cannot escape. Grandma coming out on the right side now. One vehicle taking out one member, and here comes Death. Grandma is just right on top of them. He must see, does, spots out, takes one down, and the Knights are going to cruise to another victory here unless they miss out on that guy, which they will not. The Knights are relentless. Oh my God.
Absolutely. What are these guys made of? I don't even know, but they're made of victory pretty much at this point in time. Another one with 15 frags coming at you from the Knights. A fantastic, wonderful performance out of these lads. And they show us what they're made of, and what they're made of. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Ladies and gents, for you, it's been the APL, and it's been a pleasure bringing you these games for yours truly. Or not for yours truly, yeah. Pop Boogie, and of course, WTF Moses. I think we're going to be calling it a night here and now. But yeah, it's just been really, really cool to see the Knights at play, man. They've changed their strategies a little bit. They've gone a bit more aggressive tonight, and it seems to be working out just fine.
Absolutely. I mean, an incredible performance all the way through this evening. And you can see once they get control of the end game, the Knights just do not relent. They spread out, they use that vision, they clear out their side of the zone, and they just rain death on everybody. So that has been a very impressive performance all the way through this evening. So big ups to the Knights there. Not to mention TSM sneakily getting another third place finish with, I believe that's back from Zarky #2. And then we have Purge Gaming #4, and then Rogue sneaking in again with a 5th place finish. So TSM sneakily having a good night this evening, even though they did have some tough transitions through circles. I believe they'll be good enough to secure a 2nd place overall finish. But the Knights dominating, Boogie.
Absolutely. And it was beautiful to watch them. It was beautiful to cast them. It was beautiful indeed to go through the night and tell you the story of the Knights. We're going to be returning with the APL soon enough next week, but we do have the Open League as well. So stick around, go to our website onto PUBG.Auzom.gg, and you will find much more information about when we do indeed bring you matches. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Thank you for bearing with us through all the technical issues and difficulties. And I know they haven't been sporadic, but thank you for being patient on that one and being understanding. And that's about it, I guess. That's it. That's the point where we say good night. Thank you so much again, and see you guys next time.